That's a long transition. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Shenanigoons, a D&D Spelljammer campaign where science and magic collide, and you contribute to the chaos. Hello, players.
Hello.
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 How are you all doing today?
Good.
Very coated in makeup.
Coated,
Same.
not coated in makeup. Hello to our amazing audience, people that I do not recognize, which is amazing. Thank you guys for being here. Very quickly, we're going to go around the table. We're going to introduce ourselves. My name is Logan. I am the executive director of Nerdsmith and the DM for this campaign here. Tessa, go ahead and take it.
Hi, I am Tessa, aka Piper. Are we introducing our characters or just us?
Just you.
Okay, just checking. You can find me
You say you
on
play Piper.
the Twitters at Silky Dreams. I'm a director here at Nerdsmith, and you can find me every other Wednesday on In Vain Valpurgistalked, soon to be In Vain Blood Rush, starting in about a month and a half. Angela, go.
Oh gosh, that's right. We're doing Popcorn Initiative. Hi, I'm Angela. I play Curie, and you can find me at darling_gypsum on pretty much every social media at this point. I might have a problem. Or am I being an effective internet person? I don't know. Let's go with Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Moe, Ren.
Ah! That's me. That's my name. That's what's happening on your internet screen right now. I'm Ren, and I go by Atomic Firebird on most of the places where your fine internets are interneted. And I'm blonde today. That's what I got for you.
Perfect. Pick someone to go next.
And I was picking.
Sorry.
I want to go with our bear friend.
Kyle. Got it.
Hi.
Because he doesn't wear pants. Oh, the other bear friend. Got it. Okay. Dermot.
Oh, I thought you were making some other comment about
There's no
Kyle's
proof of that.
Wait, do any streamers wear pants? I don't know. I've got like shorts.
The
on.
ones
Nope.
that use
Sound off for
standing desks.
sweatpants.
Do leggings count?
Yes. No. I don't know.
All right, Mike, take us away.
I am Mike Janelle, and I can be found lurking on Twitter at Unlikelihood. That's about it. And I play Dermot.
Yay.
Looking forward to season 2.
Which is starting right now.
Congratulations, Mike. You made it. Also, I liked your distinction about looking on Twitter. Not posting, not interacting.
I just
looking.
posted last week. Hey, I'm gonna go with Logan's second bear of Kyle.
Hi, I'm a bear tonight, evidently. My name is Kyle. You can find me at xgrimsby on Twitter or on our Discord server talking about food, because I do that all the time. Forever. I seriously just gave somebody a recipe for corned beef pizza. Heather.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Heather. I'm also one of the directors at Nerdsmith. You can find me on Twitter at amethyst_magic with a CK. I'm on the Discord all the time, and every Wednesday I'm on the Geek Thyself podcast with my co-host Russell, where we talk about a new nerdy topic every week.
Russell. Excellent. And as I said before, I am Logan. You can find me at Devias_Muppet on Twitter, since I forgot to say that before. And that's it. That's the cast. So let's talk about the people who aren't the cast. Let's talk about World Anvil. World Anvil is the most robust world building and campaign management. Fixing the audio real quick. World Anvil is the most robust world building. World Anvil? I'm totally lost now. World Anvil.
okay.
I'm starting over. World Anvil is the most robust world building and campaign management software that exists on the internet today. You can go to worldanvil.com to check it out. Sign up for a free account. Try out all the amazing features. Then, well, I guess not all of them, but most of them. And then when you're ready to expand your world and add your players in and things, you can sign up for the guild, support them as they are creating the most incredible software out there. Award-winning software. I gotta add that in now. So World Anvil, perfect. There you go. So worldanvil.com, light up the forge.
Made that harder
Next,
than it had to
we
be.
talk about Die Hard Dice. You can go to dieharddice.com to roll with the best, as they say, and we do too, because we love all Die Hard Dice. They always give more than they ask for. They're always putting out the most amazing products. They design them themselves. They do their own color testing. It's all done in-house before it's sent out to the manufacturers for creation. So they have very high standards, just like we do with our sponsors. And that's the reason why we've stuck with them, and they've stuck with us. So we're very happy to be working with Todd and his crew over at dieharddice.com. You can use your coupon code GOONIES, GOONIES, for 15% off with one order. Your first or next order, go to Die Hard Dice and roll with the best today. Cool. What else am I missing? Part of the Nerdsmith Network, obviously. Go to nerdsmith.org to find all the other amazing shows on there. And I think that's all that stuff.
How the audience can add to the chaos?
So right now, right below me, you can see the different ways you can add to the chaos. You can use the chat commands, which is something new this season. We have several chat commands that anybody in the audience can use to learn all about the different ways. The $50 tier has changed to DM Ex Machina, which was I don't remember who coined that phrase, but it was perfect. And
somebody from our Discover RPG audience.
Yes, it was perfect. And so hashtag DM30 will get you that. It's a 30-second DM powers to one player pretty much immediately, and it gives them the opportunity to affect the game in a very significant, dramatic, and probably breaking way. And of course, the other ways are. Oh no, we do have another new one. The reroll has changed. We've dropped the price of that from $10 to $5. And what it does, it goes into a pool that allows everybody to pull from and get a reroll. So if you give $5, through the donate link down below, then that $5 turns into a reroll that goes into a pool that the players will track, and they can use it anytime they need it. And bits are very different this time around. So we are not going to be doing the currency thing. I have different plans for them. We will probably next week we'll start using a tracker somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to fit it yet, but we'll be using a tracker, and it is going to every week the bits that they earn are going to affect something the following week. Something that they will start with, something that they will do, and it will be based on how many bits are earned in the previous week. And there'll be a scale that we will have, and I came up with all of this in the last 24 hours when I was doing everything else I needed to do for this. So it's not quite ready yet, but basically, if we don't earn a certain number of bits, there may be some negative things or some things that they could have used that they don't, and then as they get up into more and more bits each week, they will get better and better things.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Asshole.
So that is
Bit right now. Okay.
Question
So
that
will
you don't
be
have to
all
answer,
out next week
Logan.
once we get more into the game beyond the kind of prelude that we have now. Yes, Angela.
Just letting you know, there's a question in chat that you absolutely can exercise your right not to answer, whether or not they can give you rerolls.
I suppose if people want to give me rerolls, then absolutely, I'm not going to say no to your money. Thank you.
But then we have to set in that you have to tell us who the reroll is going to if you donate. So there's a little, make sure you do that.
You can always add a comment in
How
there.
about this? If you explicitly want it to be Logan's, say it's Logan's.
Otherwise, it will be
defaults
assumed
to
it will be a player. Absolutely. Just like everything. Every one of these items will be assumed to be players. The other two that you're very familiar with, I hope, if you've been here before, the ability to create an NPC or the ability to have players roll on the Wheel of Causality. Both are very similar or pretty much exactly the same as they were last season. So for $15, you choose a player and they will roll on the Wheel of Causality, inflicting them with some horrible, devious thing that I've created for a scene or maybe the rest of the night. The create an NPC, you tell us a little bit about them. So you can just use the hashtags. You can also use the hashtags underneath any one of the particular players, their hashtag, their character name, and that will bring up information, the bios of the characters and the players themselves. You can find out all the amazing information there. We also have a hashtag for our artist and our music. Kyle, you made them up. What were they?
Yep. It's hashtag Goonies art, hashtag Goonies theme.
There you go. And those two will get you some information about the artist that did our wonderful, beautiful, amazing art, which you're going to see a little bit more of here in a second, and all of that. So I guess we're done. All right. Good night, everyone. That was tough.
Goodbye.
Jeez.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Bye. I'm glad I made it.
All right. Are we
What's up,
good?
Ren?
And the music
Yeah.
stopped. That was perfect timing.
Yeah.
Actually,
I was going
that's
to
a great
complain
time to
about
stop.
Ren's armor class listed on screen. It's making me sad compared to mine.
I'm a fighter. I don't know.
So, I'm going to give a little bit of a preview into some of the things that we've learned over the last few weeks in our subscriber-only streams. And then we're going to cut away to something special, our new intro video. And then when we come back, we're going to get right into the thick of it. So what we're going to... soon, you guys? What we're going to... what I'd like to tell you to start is this is a Spelljammer game. What that means is that the players are going to be on a ship, like a normal sailing vessel, but it actually sails through the stars. If you're familiar with the movie Treasure Planet, it's exactly that. It literally is exactly Treasure Planet. It's amazing and wonderful. There's no spacesuits, there's no things. It's just kind of, you're on a ship and you're in space, and it's really cool. So if you can suspend that level of disbelief, this is the stream for you. If you like Treasure Planet, you'll probably, maybe, possibly like this. They have won a trip, the 6 of these players, they've won a trip in a contest that some of them didn't remember entering at the local bookstore or wherever they happened to enter. And they are getting prepared to leave. But we're actually going to be starting our adventure as we come back from the video with them already on the trip, and then we'll be doing a little bit of a flashback. So that's the lead up to it, so everyone, including the players, understands that when we come back, we're going to be talking about them already on the ship, already in what's called wild space, which is the space around the planets, and that's where we're going to be starting. So I think that's it. We're going to go ahead and go to our awesome new intro video, if everything works right, and we shall be back in a minute and 30 seconds or so. See you in a bit.
Sailing the stars in search of a harbor. Won't you join our crew? LILAC is steady even when it gets heavy. Amidst the chaos, they'll see you through. DIETRICH's disdain hides a gentler refrain to keep our spirits up. And where there's a fight, there's probably Piper. She's tiny, but she's tough. Find what's hidden inside, discover secrets big and small. And there's Flora to smile through the horror and wonder of it all. Dermot the bear looks through his vacant stare, but they will fluff you up. So won't you come along and wish us luck?
Welcome back. So that
Toast
was
to
our...
Logan.
Oh,
A
thank you.
toast to Logan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And toast to Will Crosswaite, who did that amazing music and put up with all of my constant changes. Changes. Fluff you up was Will's line, though. Will wrote most of it, and he went through
helped.
and he went through a lot of different different versions of that. The inspiration for that originally was well, you know, we'll talk about that later. We want to talk about the story now. So, thank you. Have we not had any subscriptions? Because I haven't heard any of the audio from the.
No.
Okay, just want to make
Heather
sure.
and I
Not yet.
preemptively subscribed.
Okay,
So
because
we
I haven't
didn't
heard
know.
any.
Well,
of it.
mine wasn't a renewal. It was just telling me I hit 19 months.
Interesting. Okay. Alrighty. I'm not sure if I'm not hearing it right or not. That's all. I just want to make sure I can hear it. That's all. Okay, so space. that final frontier-like thing. Jam did do an amazing job, yes. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Are you
Did
sure?
you already restart the music?
No, I haven't yet, on purpose.
Ooh, okay. Ooh.
You guys ready? Seriously? You guys good?
I'm
Are you
scared
sure?
now.
So you've been on the ship for hours. It was supposed to be 24 hours you were gone, maybe 30 hours you were gone. And you've been on the ship for about half a day now. Black. Black is all you see beyond the walls of the Cloudbreaker. The trip had been so pleasant. Cold. The elemental plane of ice seems an excellent vacation. Maybe next time. Pain. As the walls of your room slam you as if the ship itself were trying to rid itself of you. Hurtling through wild space, the Cloudbreaker continues its twirling dance with no concern for the living beings locked helpless within. For a moment, everything seems motionless. You float in the air. Is it over? Tables splinter and dishes break. A cyclone of broken glass and wood cutting and piercing anything it touches. As you start to adapt, you realize there are sounds as well. Beyond the sound of your own body and the ship decaying around you, you hear screaming, crying, rage, someone shouting orders, the sounds of terror and chaos. Often it is said that these moments are over before you can blink. But this one stretches on eternally. Every attempt to secure yourself fails, every cry for help left unanswered. No one is coming to save you. No one has any way to find you. You are adrift in the void, alone and desperate. "30 hours earlier, 13, 14, 15 hours earlier, sorry, not 30, you are standing outside. Everything is happy. It's a beautiful sunny day in Ashport. You are near the docks, near large buildings where many, many, many goblins are toiling away, creating, building a fleet of these flying vessels, Spelljammer ships. You come around into the crowd, escorted by several guards. And as you do, there's these large curtains up on a platform. You're escorted up along with several other people who are coming along in this journey and the crew. The head of the organization, Nero, gives a little speech. He talks about the future. He talks about the past. He talks about people. He talks way too long. And after he finishes, there are more speeches. And then there are more speeches. As this very auspicious occasion is marked by not only the city of Ashport, not only Soldan, but all of Valdara. People have come from miles away, dignitaries, nobles, and they're all here to see the maiden voyage with actual passengers taking to the stars, heading not only into wild space, which has been known about for a while, but beyond to this new place, the Nexus, beyond wild space. The place that was only learned about 50 short years ago when a group of adventurers stepped in between the realms and brought knowledge, a peace offering from a very strange group of beings that were unlike anything that anybody had seen. You lucky few have won the contest. And after an hour of these speeches, after an hour of listening to these bureaucrats droll on about what this could mean for the future, you finally get to eat, something you probably haven't done for a while. As the party and feast in your honor and the honor of the crew begins. Unfortunately, even though you get to eat, it does mean more speeches and toasts and talking. And some dancing, which was very strange. But it's not like any parties that Curie's used to. She doesn't get to mingle or socialize. The questions she gets asked are always the same, as you all do. What do you think's out there? What do you think it's going to be like? What are you looking forward to? And those are questions I'm asking you. So what is it you think it's going to be like? What is it you're looking forward to? What do you hope to discover in your one-day journey beyond the stars? Who would like to go first? Curie.
Well, I assume that it will be very big and very vast and incomprehensible. But I do hope to perhaps find myself with a fresh perspective on things, a new point of view that I haven't seen before.
Excellent. Who should go next?
I believe I'm very curious to hear Dietrich's answer.
I was afraid of that.
Should always be afraid.
Well, I think what we're going to find is the cold, inky, uncaring blackness of the void. But what I hope to find is a spark of creativity, some meaning beyond what we see here. You know, something, a reason to, look to the stars and dream. Piper.
Well, let's see. I mean, the biggest thing out there is just adventure, you know? That's like the most important thing. Just something unknown and different. Anything aside from the status quo really is really just anything different than here is what I'm looking forward to and hoping for. What about you, Lilac?
Are they writing this down for newspapers?
Unfortunately.
Yes.
Oh, well, I'm definitely looking forward to this. Voluntarily. Through no accidental happenstance, and I'm sure there are things that are could be looked at as a positive. I've heard it's quiet, and maybe it'll be clean on the ship because it's new. And Flora.
Who that's a really good question, actually. I guess I expect it to be interesting and new and not something any of us have seen before. I mean, it's not like any of us have been to the Nexus before, so that'll be different. And I guess what I'm looking forward to is just finding out more information about it. I mean, no one's ever seen it before, so that's amazing. Well, I guess the people 50 years ago saw it, but that's a different thing. Yeah, and adventure. I like what Piper said. I agree. Adventure sounds interesting. I'm excited.
You're the only one left, Dermot, I think.
Damn it, what are
Oh.
you looking for?
I don't know. I'm the opposite of Dietrich. I think it's gonna be wonderful. There's gonna be fluffy hamsters and all kinds of friendly races and all kinds of new people to meet. And what I hope doesn't happen is that it's a black void filled with fire. And I don't want that.
Fair point.
Excellent.
Yeah,
So after discussing more with the reporters and dealing with the feast and the speeches and the toasts and many of them in languages that you have no clue what is being said.
I can understand.
I bet you can. The captain comes over, and the captain of the ship, I was leaving up to you all. I want to know what you think his race should be. What should he be like? What should, or she, sorry, or they. Somebody want to give me a race?
Are they wearing a red shirt?
There are several of the crew wearing red shirts. Yes, it's a very common theme for most of the crew.
But not the captain.
Hides the blood. No, not the captain might be. I haven't decided yet. Depends on what you guys create.
About a Loxodon.
Oh, I
Yes.
love it. All right.
Yes.
Space elephant. All right. So a Loxodon, huge, very tall, imposing figure, wearing a custom-made uniform, sort of captain's uniform, but in more of a simplistic, sort of simple colors and designed for comfort and use during this interesting travel, flexibility. Okay, so yes, Piper.
Do they do the Picardy-derm maneuver?
You're gonna get a
I
timeout
approve.
for that. So always pulling his trunk down. I don't. No. So I like I like that a lot. So do we want to choose a gender? Do we want to choose personality traits? What do you guys think? Anybody have any ideas? Something unique about them?
From a personality perspective, I like the idea that maybe they're a little gregarious. You think someone for the first flight of one of these things, you'd want someone who maybe is a bit of a showman.
Okay. All right, showman.
Put
I
on
like
the
it.
bells and whistles.
I like the idea of them having a little bit of a quirk, though, that they often will misplace things and forget where they were.
Okay.
Just an elephant
Alright.
trumping around like,
You just-
where's
an
I lost my
elephant-
pocket watch.
An elephant that sometimes forgets.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect. All right, I like that. So that's something you may have heard people talk about a little bit during the party. Is that this this Loxodon sometimes is a little forgetful about where he places certain things, especially his
Can they
glasses.
be a wizard?
Actually, they have to be a wizard. That's a requirement. Well, they have to be some sort of spellcaster, so a wizard is fine. To be the captain or to use a Spelljammer ship, you've learned that you have to be a spellcaster because you literally have to focus your arcane energy through, or your divine energy, through the ship itself to power it. That, along with the giant space hamster, are the two means by which these vessels propel themselves through space. Do we have a name? Captain Trunks?
No.
Heather, we haven't heard from you yet.
I know, I'm thinking. How about Aurora?
Whoa.
Oh God! Somehow group chat is being broadcasted in our stream.
What's
magic.
happening?
That's why.
On the overlay.
Because we
stream.
no longer are doing individual captures, it's doing a display capture. So
Ah,
I will. That's not a chat we can use anymore.
okay.
So
Good to know.
Zoom did an update.
First
Doesn't
time
help.
technical difficulties. All good.
Ooh, I got a button for that. Oh, it's. Okay, that transition's a little. That's a little long
Nice.
for that. So that's 2 technical difficulties. Sorry, that was supposed to be a
Okay.
quick. Never mind.
We'll have to speed that up.
So Aurora, Captain Aurora, is that what I heard?
Mhm.
Female, we're going with Loxodon. Okay.
Fine with
Sure.
that.
And I like our
Lindor's
Lindor's
suggestion.
recommendation. Captain Aurora Packard.
Wouldn't be
Ralph
shenanigans.
Packard, come on.
Yes. I'd also like to point out that aural, like AUR, is used for hearing things.
Oral.
Hmm.
Oral.
Yeah, it's medical
Aural.
terminology.
So is it Aural Picard or Aurora
No.
Picard?
Aurora.
Okay. Packard, Captain Packy. Captain
I love
Durham,
it.
Packy Durham. All right, so
See, when you say it like that, though, it just sounds like a New Englander talking about going to the liquor store. So, never mind.
It's okay. Mike
No,
got that joke.
so which is it? Are we going with Captain Aurora Packard or Captain Packy Durham?
Packard.
Okay.
Aurora Packard.
Yeah.
Please.
Make it so.
There you go.
Welcome to the
Logan?
stream.
Is it possible to turn?
I've been
music
trying,
for
but
us
then a
down
million
just
other things
slightly?
happen. What am I turning
I'm so
down?
sorry.
The audio?
Music.
Yes, it's just a little hard to hear you.
Yes, we like hearing your narration.
You guys told me you couldn't hear it before. How about now? Is that better?
We can hear you now. Great.
Can you hear it?
It's a little soft.
So much
That's
for having
better.
done this.
Perfect.
That's one of the things that didn't change, but yet it's broken. So, you know. All right.
It's all right.
Wow. Boy, that didn't take as long to get off track. So, Captain Aurora Packard comes over. Packard comes over, and she seems to be a little befuddled. She seems to have misplaced something. She's looking around as she kind of comes over, but she kind of dismisses it in the moment and greets the 6 of you. Hello, how are you today?
I'm very well,
great.
thank you.
Thank you for asking. This way.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
What have I done?
I like
For
your
your-
red shirt.
I have
like it a
thoughts
lot.
on this.
We all have thoughts on it. We all have thoughts.
Now it feels like shenanigans. Okay.
There you go. Jesse, you're supposed to be on my
Everything's great,
side. I need somebody on my side here.
Oh no, I'm on your side.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm just desperate. Like, as much as I was kind of like partially hoping that my partner was not watching this, now I hope they are.
There you go. So she's going to take you for orientation. She starts to take you into one of the very large warehouses that you now realize the roofs of can be opened. These gigantic roofs seem to have several sliding gears and these large sort of levers that look like the entire thing can unfold into 3 sides each. And inside of this gigantic warehouse, surrounded by these scaffoldings which are being taken down, are hundreds and hundreds of these goblin workers, and inside of it is the Cloudbreaker, the ship that you're going to be taking. This is not an incredibly large ship. It's kind of a medium size, not a huge galleon. Tessa always pulls ship types out of her butt, and so we'll go with her there. But we're looking like
Frigate?
200 feet. Yeah, frigate would be good. not a big 350, 400 footer, but something designed for speed. But you notice one of the things is there's no rudder on the back, and there are extra sails that kind of come out into weird angles. But it is streamlined, it is beautiful, it is this gorgeous wood, and it has been painted what color?
Well, I think it's all of the colors.
Okay, so a beautiful rainbow just across of it, the entire thing?
I think
Or just
I assume
mottled?
it's some of those things that when you change angles, it seems to sort of shift in the
Oh, it's
light.
a flip.
Harlequin
It's a
paint.
flip color. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, like a.
Oh, I believe the term would be opalescent if you want to get technical.
Oh, you want to do opalescence? All right, sure. So it's got this beautiful kind of opalescent sheen on the outside, and they start to take you through the different parts of the ship, showing you the deck above, telling you about the rules of the deck, telling you about the rules of the lower decks, and since this is only a 1-day journey, yes, you will have a chance to rest and lay down if you want. You are assigned a room. You're told about the rules of the rooms, and there's just a lot of things to listen to, and which we're not going to go into all of right now because, as we all know, they're not going to matter long. And
Is there a balcony?
there's no balconies. You have to go up onto deck if you want to see, but there are 2 tiers of decks that you can see. This one is more designed for exploration, not necessarily luxury. So a lot of the decks that she does take you through, she's like, well, these decks are going to be things like research, magical, arcana. This is going to be a full alchemy lab. It's only partially complete right now. That'll be important later. So obviously this will be a full galley with a lot of more like cafeteria style seating. But right now they put some very nice tables and chairs in there with the covers on them because they're going to make some nice meals for the 1 day that you'll be gone. Are we still talking about what space is made out of? And then afterwards she takes you out and says, now I'd like to introduce you to some other very important special people and beings. And she takes you to the hamster area, the place where you're going to meet the hamster that's going to take you around. And she points over to this furbolg young man, and he actually has long, dirty blonde hair that kind of drapes down to one side on the right side of his face, and the left side of his head is shaved just all down to the skin here. And there's a tight braid running along the hairline where it's shaved, framing this intricate vine pattern tattoo that he's got that goes all the way down his neck and disappears into his fur and down into his the collar of his shirt. He is in charge of hamster relations. And the captain says, "This is Niesel. Take care, Niesel, of these people." And she leaves.
I love
And
you
Niesel,
so much.
Niesel comes up.
Love? Love's a
and-
strong word for that.
It's my namesake. Niesel comes up and kind of very shyly is wringing his hands a little bit, and he's tall, very skinny, and he says, "It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Niesel, and these are my friends." And he kind of points back, and you see just rows of these large cages. Huge cages that have these gigantic hamsters in them, some medium, some large, some pushing the limits of looking comfortable in their cages. And even those cages are still 5 to 6 times the size of the hamster, but you think they might like something a little bit bigger. You also notice that there's these back little areas where it looks like the hamsters could leave and go into another area there's no door on it. They could just easily not be there if they wanted to be somewhere else. But they all seem to be there, and they're doing very much hamster-like things. They have gigantic wheels and big, gigantic watering bottles holding, obviously, gallons and gallons and gallons of water. and little beddings and little dust baths and all sorts of amazing things. Would you like to meet my friends?
Yes, absolutely. They're absolutely gorgeous.
Can I know your names first, please?
I'm Flora.
Oh, I'm Dermot.
Curie, it's lovely to meet you.
Okay.
Oh,
and
I'm
he turns and starts to walk away. Hoping you'll follow him, obviously guessing that you were done introducing yourselves. So as he turns, he says, "So we have all of the women, all the females are on this side. This is Mary, and this is Catherine, and this is Dorothy, and this is Michelle, Valentina, Sally, that's Peggy, that's Svetlana, that's May, and at the end is Krista."
Which one's your favorite?
Krista. She was the first. She's what made me want to do this. She's what made me want to go into space.
It's really nice to meet all of you.
And several of them come over to the edge of the cages and like stick their noses through, and like this gigantic noses as big as your torso, just kind of sticking through these large bars. They're very friendly. You can pet them. That's their invitation.
As big as their torsos, or
No, as big as
my
your torso. Well, their torsos.
Okay.
Well, it depends
So,
if you're talking about the mediums or the larges.
me-sized.
Yeah.
Okay. Piper kind of looks over at Lilac like,
Flora immediately makes a beeline for the nearest one, which is I don't know which one, because you listed a lot.
I did list a lot, and I'll be impressed if anybody can guess where they're from. Valentina, you go up and you see the big cage has this beautiful goblin writing above it, and underneath it in translated common is Valentina. This is Valentina. She's very sweet.
Hi, Valentina. It's nice to meet you. She puts her hand through or up to the bars. She's not going to invade her space, but she puts it up.
She'll like lead through and kind of nuzzle against your hand.
Oh, she's so soft. You're so soft.
Do they bite?
Sometimes, but not. If you pay attention, you'll understand when. The biggest issue is we know when they're pregnant, but once they've had the children, we don't see them until they're. And he points over to Mary with one of the smallest. So till they're about that size, it's about almost just borderline small to medium size. But they're actually, I think they're much smaller. I've seen them occasionally, but most of the time, no.
what do you mean well, wrong character voice. What do you mean you don't see them?
These hamsters are transdimensional, and the babies don't exist in our plane all the time.
That sounds complicated.
That's amazing.
So you really never know when one might have a baby with it.
Are we allowed inside the cages?
We can
No.
go to their play area.
Oh, I want to go there.
Their cages are their homes. Would you like to meet the boys first?
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. This is these here. We have much fewer males. Mostly females are born. This is Greg and Steve and Stu and Mark and Leighton and Chad. Do you know what a group of male hamsters is called? It's a business. That joke was for 2 people, and that's it. Maybe 3.
I get it.
That song is going to be stuck in my head all day. Thanks, Logan.
If you'd like to, we can go and meet them now.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever wants to come and watch. And as you start to walk away, Flora, Valentina actually follows you along the edge of the cage. And as you walk to the back, you hear this like skittering from that cage behind you. And he takes you into this very large area that is actually out back, outside, but enclosed in this kind of cage, open air though, no ceiling, just these large kind of chain link fences all the way around, and bounding out of the hole in the wall is Valentina, who just starts to and just does this little weird little humping jump, running over to you.
I open my arms for a hug.
Same.
Well, it's very large.
Valentina is big enough and stops short of both Flora and Dermot, and he kind of clicks, makes this weird kind of sound, and the hamster just leans forward and pushes its fur on the side shoulder up against both of you, to the point where it's kind of pushing you back a little bit.
Flora's giggling and just like basically doing like full hand scritches.
They're very soft.
All like
Making
behind
hamster
her ears
angels.
and everything.
And a few minutes later, several other hamsters of the female hamsters come out and start to meet and greet and investigate and play and romp and just run around and be silly.
Eventually, Piper will go over and kind of gently pet one. If they're one of the smaller ones, if I think you said May or Mary was one of the small ones.
Mary was
she'll go
the
over
smallest
to-
one.
She'll go over to Mary and pet Mary, given that Piper is only 2 feet tall.
If one of them starts like nuzzling emphatically against Curie, Curie uses her walking stick, her cane, to hold, like, give herself a little leverage so that she doesn't get knocked over.
And Dietrich will actually walk up behind Curie and kind of like help, not surreptitiously, but like, you know, like on the DL, like stand behind her to kind of support her, knowing that
Thank you,
she's
dear.
off kilter a little bit. Right, birds of a feather, as it were.
Playful little things, aren't they?
They're so
Lilac stands
soft.
back.
Lilac, you should come here and touch her. She's so soft and so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I emphatically take your word for it.
Yep, I have now pet a hamster. I'm good.
Giant space hamster.
Sorry, I have pet the giant space hamster.
Normal hamsters are
good.
stupid.
I wouldn't think
Noted.
you had much of an issue with animals, dear.
He's right though. They're absolutely adorable when they're the little tiny things that everyone keeps as pets, but they're not very bright. These guys are definitely more intelligent.
I believe that just per pound.
So,
Okay. Well,
so
I'm going to spend the rest of the trip, the 28 hours here. Okay.
you can't do that. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Well, is there any way for him to come visit at some point later in the trip, not just now?
You're welcome to come back after you've come back, but you'll also you'll have one of them with you. I don't know which one yet.
Is it possible to get a job here working with them like you do? Because they're amazing.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure you'll have more experience than most people once you return.
That's true.
Where,
Already networking. Very good, dear.
where did
I
you
just want to
find
pet
these
hamsters
things
all day. Let's be honest.
I'm sorry, I don't really understand when two people talk at once. Can we maybe do one at a time?
Wasn't really important, really. I was just curious where they came from.
Oh, they volunteered.
I presume space.
Sort of.
They volunteered?
Well, the first two did.
Have the subsequent generations been questioned as to their voluntary participation?
They have some sort of language. They can speak. I've only picked up very little of it. They talk to each other. None of them have seemed to want to leave.
Well,
I think they know they could. I don't think we could stop them. They can teleport.
I would certainly doubt it.
So, why do you have like the walls and cages then? If they can just
To keep people
teleport
out.
Oh,
That
like
makes
me,
sense.
yeah. That's very wise.
Their cages, I mean, they're not cages. They're not locked. They can leave whenever they want, but we don't want people crowding them if they don't want it.
Smart.
Alex's gonna sidle on up over to Dietrich and kind of, I mean, she's got to reach up kind of high to elbow him in the elbow.
Aye.
Maybe they're making some sort of plan to take over and eat everyone.
I mean, it would certainly be a very original way to die.
How surreptitious is Lilac trying to be here? Because I want to know if Curie can hear this.
Lilac absolutely probably thinks they are being surreptitious, but to be able to whisper something up to Dietrich, that has to be not surreptitious.
Okay, just checking.
I could think of worse ways to go.
Oh. And Lilac will just walk away.
No, you don't want to hear them.
I, for one, welcome our eventual hamster overlords.
Dorothy, in a very strange sort of posture, puts the front paws and body on the ground and puts its butt way in the air and wiggles it while looking at Lilac, almost like a cat would.
There's no vocal response. It's just gets real still.
As you get still, a moment passes and Dorothy seems to get bored and just kind of falls over onto their side, exposing their tummy.
Oh, I think I like that one.
I think she wants you to pet her.
It's a sign of submission. I doubt you'll have any sort of danger to worry about.
Says the cat about exposing your belly to someone.
They are very soft.
The first big bad of this campaign is Lilac's fear of hamsters. Will they overcome?
Is everyone just like staring at Lilac now?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Including several of the hamsters.
All right, there's a deep breath. And then Lilac goes and kind of stands behind Flora.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Oh, a valiant effort.
Can we continue the tour then?
Well, that's all that I had to show you. I think you've finished your orientation. Is there any questions that I could answer before you're ready for your journey in about an hour?
Please forgive me. What was your name again? We've been
Niesel.
Niesel. Thank you so much. We were inundated with so many names at first. I just popped right out.
could you run through all the females' names again? I caught most of them, but I want to be able to greet each of them by name.
Here's a pamphlet.
Thank you.
Rewind the episode stream.
Shenanigoons, the DVD.
Thank you for your time. It was very informative.
And as you guys start to leave, the hamsters go off and do their own thing. The one that there were a few that didn't come out, including Krista, which is the oldest one, but seems to be content in their cage. And you're led out down the corridor of the cages again. Valentina comes in and sees Flora off.
It was nice to meet you. I hope I get to see you again.
Chitters at you.
Fast friends, you two.
I really like her. She's really nice. And very soft.
Next time you can ride her.
You can ride them?
Oh.
They insist sometimes. They pick me up and put me on their back sometimes. It's really weird.
They seem to have a lot of control over you.
Maybe. Never thought about it like that. I suppose that's true.
If you think about it, Lilac,
I mean, I'm
infants have a lot of control over our whereabouts and doings as
Kind of.
well. So, would you consider that malicious?
I guess I'm kind of their servant.
Caretaker, dear.
Servant's not a bad thing.
I wanted to give you a bit more agency as well.
You don't have to
I don't really
feed
like
them grapes or
agency.
anything.
More of an NPC.
And that's what you take out.
Said, at least you don't have to feed them grapes or anything.
It would be,
Curie
that would be
looks
a
to
lot
him,
of
waiting.
grapes.
Piper leans into Lilac.
Need giant space grapes.
Yeah, they're out there, I bet.
Mind
Friends?
control is beginning. They've already got one.
It's not going where I thought it would at all. All right, so you guys have an hour before you leave. Is there anything else that you would like to do?
Curie would. I mean, so before we even board,
Correct.
or before we? Okay, so before we board.
I mean, you have been
Is
on the
the,
ship,
um,
but
I meant officially, we're on board. But if there's the grouping of the other passengers around, Curie would at least want to sort of wander amongst them, just to kind of get a handle on who's around.
so most of the people are the crew. So there's about 20 to 30 total people that'll be going in addition to you. I haven't decided on an exact number. We'll get to that. But there's a few. There are a few other passengers, a couple of dignitaries, and these are people that either aren't going to matter or we're going to talk about later. The one person that stands out the most to everyone once you start to mingle with this group, this person is wearing modest upper class clothing, a nice white dress shirt, purple and black striped pants with matching purple hair, a heeled black leather boots, and that would be enough to make this person stand on a crown. But what draws the most attention is the mask that they wear. And this mask is completely flat, smooth, and black, with no visible means of it adhering or being held onto their face. Just sort of floats against them. And enchanted on this mask are two eyes and a mouth, very simply, sort of this glowing, almost chaotic, burning edged light. And the eyes and face changes expression with the person, and even the mouth even moves when they talk. And he, from what you gather, Curie in the group, he's never seen without it. Nobody's ever heard of him not wearing it.
Oh, Curie would try to sort of gingerly approach him while playing up the mild limp that she has. She's playing it up a bit more as she goes towards him.
All right. So are you approaching from behind or where in his field of view?
In his
Okay.
What I would assume is his view.
Okay. All right. So you approach this gentleman in his field of view. At least he seems to be masculine presenting, as best you can tell. And as you approach, he turns and looks at you. And the interesting thing, curious, being an expert in body language, the eyes are always the first thing to lead the body. So the eyes would turn before his head would turn, and in this case, even with the mask, they seem to do the same. The eyes seem to notice you before the body turns. And he turns and he smiles, and it's this weird sort of strange, stretched kind of smile on his face. You're not sure exactly what it means, but it seems bright and friendly.
I'm terribly sorry to intrude if I am, but I don't believe I've met you before, and I've seen just about everyone in town.
There is no intrusion at all. I am Lantern. It is a pleasure. And he puts his hand out.
Absolute pleasure. Curie.
Curie, it's very nice to meet you. What do you do, Curie?
I am a, very good question. I have my hands in several pots, as a matter of fact.
Of no doubt.
Mostly I love meeting interesting people, and you, of course, qualify.
Did
you win the contest?
No, I've been selected.
Oh my, you must be terribly important.
I've been told that.
In what way have you been told?
It's not for this company.
Ah, I understand. I must maintain an air of mystique of some kind, especially around mixed company.
He kind of leans in, but he doesn't really whisper that. Why else would I wear a mask?
Dashing mystique.
Was there a difference?
Well, one is meant to keep people at a distance, while the other's meant to draw them in.
I find the best way to keep them at a distance is to keep them very close.
I think we're going to get along very, very well.
I think so as well. Who are your friends?
Oh, fellow lottery winners.
Oh.
We all seem to have lucked our way onto this maiden voyage.
I would love to meet them.
Of course, I can make introductions. That is one of the pots I have my hand in. And
do you remember all their names?
I believe so. I have a relatively good ear for that.
2 of them, I'm sure.
And an ear twitches. And Curie offers basically waits with her hand out, waiting for him to offer to a hand.
He'll stand there for a moment. They kind of look. Oh yes, and he'll go ahead and take it.
And Curie will lead Lantern over to the group if the group is still in one piece. If not, she will target the most concentrated gathering of them.
Let's
I'm
say
just
they're
going to
gathered.
assume we're all together.
Yeah.
Friends, I have made a new friend. Everyone, this is Lantern. Lantern. This is Piper, Dietrich, Lilac, Dermot, and Flora. They're all terribly interesting people as well. I think you would get along splendidly.
Didn't hear you,
That's-
Piper. Nope.
Nope. Piper, your miming is getting so good.
Dietrich, why don't you start?
Right, when she says terribly interesting people,
Emphasis on
she
terrible.
means terrible, comma, interesting
Hmm.
people. Right, hi.
Hello. And he offers a hand.
Sure. And Dietrich will shake his hand firmly.
He takes your hand as you shake it, and then he kind of leans down and like pushes it against the mouth on his mask.
Dietrich is obscenely talented.
Anything
No
I
comma
know.
that time.
Used to, play for Solemnity,
I'm sorry, you used to play for Celibacy?
Never, no, not once. No, Solemnity. No, it was a band. We broke up a while back, but no, we were touring.
Oh.
The whole, heavy focus on, gloom and doom and, the status of the world and, the inherent violence within it. It
Well,
was...
celibacy will do that.
It-
Piper Buttonwillow, charmed.
Oh, Piper. And he'll shake your hand. Very nice to meet you.
Curie eyes Piper like, where the fuck did that charm come from?
Oh, and I'm Dermot.
Dermot.
I-
You
Yes.
are marvelous.
I thank you. You are as well. You're just as wonderful as all of the layers that you hide behind.
Thank you. And he gives you a hug.
Oh, permission granted. Thank you.
Yes, I should have asked. I'm sorry.
I always find that I want to hug everybody, and I've been told that I need to ask sometimes. You could tell. I was ready for that hug. Thank you.
That's funny. I've never been told that I need to ask, but maybe people should tell me that. I'll try to remember that.
It's always more polite. I had to tell Dermot that a few times, though we ran into a few things that didn't want to be hugged.
But I never hug fire.
Good.
I
True.
would think
Practice.
not.
Lesson
I'm
learned.
Flora. It's nice to meet you.
Flora, wonderful to meet you. Are you looking forward to this trip?
Absolutely. I'm so excited to see what's going to be out there, and it's going to be so interesting. There's going to be so many things to see. I don't even know where to start.
I'm Lilac, and I don't hug.
I know. And he just kind of steps back away from you and just kind of does a little bow. I am Lantern.
Well met.
So, why do you find yourself involved with this particular expedition? as
Part
it
of
were?
my family funded it.
Your family. And what was their interest in the Nexus?
What is anyone's interest in exploration?
And space hamsters.
Perfect. That's all I need to know. What are those canapes?
Well, to be fair, there are lots of motivations for doing something like that. Learning, dominion, profit.
Take your pick.
All of the above, then.
No, not necessarily. I just said take your pick. If I was open to discussing my family's business, I wouldn't be wearing the mask.
So I suppose asking where you hail from is out of the question.
Valdara.
How precise?
Well, I suppose generalities like that are probably how we'll need to speak if we meet anyone else out there. Even saying simply Vale might be enough.
Do we intend to make contact on our first day? Seems to me we'd have a lot to travel before that.
These ships are very fast. Well, it's been a pleasure. I'll see you all aboard.
Looking forward to it.
And he'll turn and head off.
Once he's
Nice.
out of earshot, Lilac is gonna kind of wheel on the rest of them. That was very unsettling.
I need to know everything about him.
Right, I could feel saliva on my hand, and I know that's not possible.
Curie
But
pulls
I
out
could feel it.
Curie pulls out a finely stitched handkerchief with her monogram on it and offers it to Dietrich.
Even if it's just to feel better.
Thank you.
You know that you can use my fur anytime.
I would.
Dermot, there's a point of hygiene that's not really the most practical use for your
Yeah, I
Curie just like immediately strokes her own fur and just like, oh, I just can't imagine.
It's okay. We prestidigitate him clean every night. You
But
wouldn't
we know it
believe
was
how much
there.
dirt gets all over his feet.
See, I No, that was weirder than a lot of this other stuff.
Why has it got you on edge?
It's just the way he said I know.
Lilac, I wouldn't take it personally, dear. You just have I don't hug written on your face most days. Metaphorically.
Right.
It's not a bad quality. You set your boundaries from the get-go.
You also rose your hand when Dermot said that some people don't like hugs.
All right.
But I will not negate your initial instincts. There is obviously something terribly mysterious about him. And there could be for good or ill. Who knows? That's half the fun, right? Finding out. Maybe not for you. Understood.
Well, I am, for one, ready to see where this journey takes us.
Fair enough.
Same.
Stretching our legs a bit past the atmosphere. Could
There's
be
bound
fun.
to be about 5 more speeches.
Oh,
I
no.
hope not.
More speeches.
Well, they haven't christened the ship yet, and they haven't. There's
Curie just starts listing off potential like maiden voyage kind of stuff that would happen.
Piper's kind of more polished face kind of drops at that, and there is a audible sigh and eye roll.
I
didn't
didn't
say
say
they
tired
were
of
fun.
speeches. You have to sit still and not do anything and say anything, and you have to respond when they make jokes that aren't good.
that's
Before-
easy.
Standing still.
Hmm?
I wanted to listen to speeches and behave. I would have stayed home.
You know that naval vessels are far more regimented than anything you're used to. That includes cruises. This is something in between.
Lovely.
I'm sorry to burst your bubble.
It's all right. I shall endure.
I don't know. I'm hoping for a couple more speeches myself. I have a stream of consciousness lyric that I'm working on, and it seems to be ripe fodder for the imagination.
Just drifting off, yes.
Just writing down the first thing that comes to mind.
Yes, but how can you make a song out of just boring, 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 boring over and over again?
Lou Reed
Well,
did
there's a
it.
certain rhythm to it. I'm sure there's a market for music people could fall asleep to. It's a whole new genre for you to explore, Dietrich.
Right.
I almost did fall asleep the first time round.
All right. So the last person that you're going to meet before the journey starts, like, it seems to be going around and meeting everyone, is this short, extremely short, about 5'3" tiefling. That doesn't include the horns, and he is wearing fairly simple clothes, but they're obviously nice quality. Same type of, not the uniforms that are being worn, but the same type of cut. And he has a folded over in front of him to be kind of a half apron, is this just white apron. And you'd hear, as he introduced himself to different people in the crowd, that he is the chef. He's the one that's going to be preparing the meal. And he makes his way over to your little group and introduces himself. What is his name?
First thing that popped in my head was souffle.
Kind of like that.
I think his name should be Artie Boyd.
Ah.
Kind of like souffle.
Okay, souffle it is.
It's supposed to be things that they admire, right? It's like the one dish he hasn't accomplished yet.
Oh, it keeps falling.
Souffle. All right. So she, I think Sue is a beautiful name. So she comes up and introduces herself. Hello, everyone. I am Sue. I will be preparing your meals while we are on this journey, and I really don't like the way I'm talking right now, so I'm going to change it in a second, but I haven't figured out how to yet.
I got a glimpse of the menu, and it's stunning already.
Just.
Everything sounds delicious.
Which is your favorite? See? You want to start it, I'll finish it.
Who were you talking to?
All of
Flora
you.
Curie? Oh, well, you had that crisp sourdough with the ricotta cheese and the blackberries on top. That sounded divine.
Oh, they're not blackberries. They're hellberries.
Ah, slight difference in flavor, but I appreciate the nuance.
I actually thought the creme brulee sounded amazing, but I'm interested to see what the hellfire is going to flavor it like.
I imagine it has a kick.
That's what I
Everything
think.
has a kick.
I would expect nothing less.
was actually a fan of whatever you had inside the grilled endive.
Thistle chicken.
Right. I could detect the faintest aroma of sulfur.
And she hands you this little pamphlet for your group and says, "Can you please tell me which of these things will kill you?"
Oh.
The
Piper
allergies.
eagerly opens up the menu, like, all right.
So there's a list of dozens and dozens of ingredients, many of which you've never heard of. Well, most of you haven't heard of, but one of you has, and and that person already knows who they are. So, or if they don't, I will tell her later. And there are some things on here that are not things that most people would eat.
So Dietrich will lean towards Curie and be like, "Is any of this off limits?"
I mean, I can avoid anything, not
For the rest of us.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were being considerate of my own constitution.
Well,
And then
you're
Curie
part of the
will.
group, yeah.
Curie will peruse the list, and is there anything that is overtly known to be poisonous?
Several.
All right. Well, there are a few things in here that, if prepared without care, could be slightly problematic, and honestly, in some
You
circles,
think I
it's
would not take
equivalent-
care with your meal?
No, I'm trying to get to the point of I am certain that you're preparing things with the utmost care and consideration, that any lesser chef would be probably not up to the challenge, but I do not have any such doubts on this vessel or in your kitchen. Please forgive any undue distress I caused by even the slightest implication of impropriety on your part.
Anything without poison's fine with me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I can have the poison, but that
Don't make that your first choice, dear.
would anybody like seconds? I'm not gonna eat. Oh, okay. Sue, I would like all of my meals to go to Lilac. Without the poison. I'll just
And that's
you
the
can-
day that Dermot made a friend.
I would prefer that you call me Chef Flay.
Oh, Chef Lay.
Chef Flay.
I'll try anything.
Maybe you've heard of my brother.
Bobbin Flay. He's a tailor.
I am up for anything. I enjoy new experiences.
Like death. Good. And she'll take the list back and she leaves.
We're all slingshotting into the off the planet, aren't we? I think that might be a prerequisite for being on board.
It's just a point of clarification. What times are the various meals throughout the day, or will there be in between snacks and things?
When you get peckish, you come see me. I will
Let's
find
move into the
something
kitchen,
to
then.
end your hunger for good.
Oh, that sounds like poison. Let's not. I'll have all of the snacks.
I just mean you won't get hungry again for a very long time.
Right. All right.
You will wish it was your final meal. So you could
It's so
remember it
good.
forever.
There's a lot of really conflicting emotions in Lilac right now because they were really excited about the food, and they were even excited to maybe make friends with the chef, but then the chef got real creepy.
Got? So I must have done something wrong. I meant to start as really creepy. All right. I'll work on
Well,
that.
but to Lilac,
All
because
right.
food.
All right. I'll take care of you.
You'll be taken care of.
I feel like Lilac just looks around to see if anybody else is reacting to this, and then just kind of sighs deeply in,
Yeah.
Why is nobody else thinking that
For
this whole
once,
thing
even
is-"
Flora looks a little bit like, what?
Curie oddly feels more relaxed upon getting a better sense of this person's personality.
Piper just looks amused.
Huff.
All right. So, you have a very short amount of time left. I want to remind everyone that as of tonight, they were supposed to have your character completely filled out, because other than the items that you have on your character sheet and the items you can find, that's it. That's all you're going to have on this journey. And I do have a list. By next week, we'll have a full list of what is you're going to be able to find on the ship. But if there's anything that might be missing from your character sheet that's very blatant, we can talk afterwards also about it. But please understand that this is it. This is the moment when, we're sort of locking in that...
No buying
that
health
thing.
potions between episodes is what you're saying.
Yeah. So basically, that is what I'm saying. So as everything's wrapping up and they start to gather, obviously going to do speeches, you are each
Stay strong.
offered
everyone,
an
stay
opportunity, as well as every other passenger ship, to come up and say a short 1 or 2 sentences about the trip. And we're going to use this moment as you are each introduced to step in front of the magic hand that brings me a soda. As you step in front of the microphone, the whatever it is, the up on the dais, you are offered the opportunity to not only give us your parting words, but also describe your characters, as we have not heard you describe your characters yet. So we're going to start with the magic of popcorn, and I'm going to start with, sorry, Ren. So describe your character for us in all of the glorious detail, and then give us your 1 or 2 sentences, parting words, as you are leaving for your 1-day journey into the stars.
I'm assuming leaning towards one sentence. Can't hear you, Ren. It's okay.
Heard that, but didn't hear it.
Heard it through the void.
Somebody will basically have to kind of do that thing where they kind of like shove Lilac just a little bit.
There's a gentle nudge of a cane, like just a little one, like a tap,
and then a slightly taller than average halfling walks up to the microphone, and I suppose has to kind of reach up and tip it down a little bit. They
as you're reaching up for it, the captain kind of does one of these, and a magic hand appears and adjusts it down for you.
I never thought I'd see Captain Kurt or Will Shatner casting a spell, but that was good miming.
Thank you.
They are wearing a sort of pink getup that is, despite the fact that they seem to have a strong opinions about cleanliness of the ship, their particular outfit is actually a little torn and worn, and like it was nice once, but probably has just seen a lot of activity. They have blonde hair. It's up in some kind of loose braids that are kind of coming out a little sloppy. And they just kind of look a little uncomfortable as they scan this crowd and stand in front of the microphone. And may our journey be brief and useful. Thank you. And walks away.
Perfect. Pick somebody to go next.
Weaponized awkwardness.
I'm gonna say Curie, because Curie was apparently standing behind Lilac to tap with the cane. So
Curie lessens the limp a little bit, goes back to what is normally her mobility. Curie is a curvy plus size tabaxi woman, sort of a Maine Coon with gray, different tones of gray and that kind of like stripy Maine Coon pattern. She has incredibly sharp green eyes and is wearing a coat that seems to have been embroidered very meticulously on the back, lots of little details and like scenes. It's hard to kind of see what it is until you get really close and kind of start studying what's going on, but it's clearly something that she's been working on for a long time. She has a lot of embroidered things on her person, so it seems to indicate that she does that herself. And she wanders forward with her with a very fine mahogany cane that has a bit of a it doesn't have a long handle, it's just a long simple cane, and she walks forward to the microphone and adjusts it back up. She's shy, she's less than 6 foot, so a little bit taller than Lilac. And she steps forward and reaches into her coat for sort of a simple pocket watch that she has, kind of like casually checks the time and dips it back into her coat.
It is an absolute honor to be participating in this momentous occasion. I look forward to meeting everyone on board and making lifelong friends that last well into whatever future adventures this fine organization partakes in with these beautiful ships. Thank you so much for having me.
And she saunters back to the line. And gives Dermot a little pat on the shoulder. Your turn, dear.
Oh, that's good. All right. Well, you see a 5 foot teddy bear. He's got a dark colored fur, like you see, and he's adorned with a bow tie. And he approaches the microphone. He's got a quarterstaff that's made of ferns, all pressed together. He has a noticeable limp on his right foot, his right paw, because it was constructed just a little bit shorter than the other. But he likes it because it makes other people smile and laugh and brings happiness to their day. So he's fond of it. I don't know. That's about it. I think you've got an idea. Lilac. I thought you seemed a little uncomfortable. Would you? I would like to solve that. Would you join me again up here?
But I already went.
Oh, I know, but oh, please.
There's a
version of puppy dog eyes.
There's a prolonged pause as Lilac's eyes get kind of wide, and you don't need to do any sort of insight check to tell that they are sitting there trying to evaluate how bad it will look if they refuse. So they walk
Hundreds of
up.
people here.
They walk up.
Oh, thank you so much. I just wanted to do something for you. So this is a little inspiration. It's and everybody gets to hear. Lilac placed their name in a suggestion box, ending up on this journey with us, a complete flummox. Certainly, we are all better for it. Together, we shall all become tight-knit. Forever misfits, Goonies for life. through all our heartache and all our strife. Thank you. You can hold the applause for later. I'll go around and give each and every one of you a hug. Okay. Good day.
Every person in the audience.
Every single one.
The ship, it takes about an extra hour to take off because he's at the door, just hugging every person who tries to come on board.
I inspired you, Lilac.
Yeah, I feel like Lilac kind of relaxed and is just looking up because Dermot's considerably taller than them. In just sort of like a befuddled wonder, I suppose, would be the best word. They're conflicted, but that was a pleasant sentiment, so they don't know how to respond to that. That was nice.
Okay, you're welcome. You can even.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, and enjoy my food. That is, thank you.
Right. And then Lilac realizes that they're in front of a microphone again and just looks at everyone and then...
That squeak.
Oh, I have to choose somebody because of popcorn, and I don't eat it, but, Flora, I think you should go next.
Okay. Flora walks up to the microphone. She is an elf, or at least she appears to be an elf. Very pastel colored blue and pink hair. Her eyes are a little different. Instead of the normal color, they almost look like flowers, and her pupils are yellow. She's wearing sort of a pastel pink and green overdress that is sort of a high-low hem. It almost looks like maybe at some point it got ripped, and she kind of fixed it to look like the high-low hem. Brown pants and boots. And she's very bubbly and bouncy and extremely excited. Okay, so I don't want to take too long because there's a lot of us, but I want to say that I'm really excited and I hope everything goes amazing. And I can't wait to be out there with all of you and get to experience something so incredible and new and exciting. And yeah, that's it. Thank you. Dietrich?
Dietrich will walk forward and then kind of like adjust the microphone as needed. Then he kind of like kind of opens up a little bit. He's been a little just very stone faced, but he kind of animates a little bit more. He is a very tall, human looking man in his the latter half of his mid years. He's got these like electric blue eyes and this Glasgow smile where he got cut during a court performance by a drunk noble at one point in ancient history. It wasn't you, Piper. Don't worry. He wears a lot of dark colors, but tends to shy away from black. So you can see that he's like, I'm wearing a Henley, but he's got a button-up shirt and a vest over it and dark slacks. Just very well put together person. Seems very well composed. Lots of piercings on his face, and some wristbands in bright colors on his wrist that complement the outfit that he's wearing. As some of you may know, I'm looking for an opportunity to find inspiration in the worlds beyond, that I can write better music, write more engaging music for your enjoyment upon my return. We're getting the band back together. And then he'll adjust the microphone back down.
Is that everyone?
Nudge Piper.
Oh, right.
Piper will kind of.
So wait. Just to be clear, Dietrich goes with the mic adjusted, says his beautiful speech, and then adjusts it down to crotch height.
He stands to the side.
Everyone's
before doing
very
it.
All right,
thrown off
just.
I wish to inspire you.
Gonna hear from Tom and his Jones.
Nope. Nope.
Got a song called Dance Magic.
So Piper heads on up to the mic. She's about just under 3 feet tall. Got kind of reddish brown hair in an undercut and a little kind of partial bun. And as opposed to a lot of people who are, dressed in kind of more relaxed clothing, wow, Heather, wow, Ballin' Oats, really? That's amazing. I love you so.
We're not. We're not
give
turning
no
this
shits.
season into a podcast. You don't actually have to say these out loud anymore, or are we? I have no idea. Go
I
ahead.
give zero shits.
No, we're not.
Good.
She's decked out in full armor, and she's got a large mace strapped to her back. The armor is kind of this bronzed color, and is wearing a little scarf of kind of pomegranate red, lined with green. And she gets up to the mic with kind of this practiced air to her. Her entire left arm is completely just armor all the way down, including a gauntleted glove. She looks very out of place. But she gets up with this kind of practiced air and takes a breath and goes, "May the Cloudbreakers anchor to the stars be tight, our wine corks loose, the rum spiced, and our compass true. Thank you." And then steps away.
And you hear, "She stole my speech."
Sorry.
Oh boy.
It's the best thing to say when you haven't prepared anything. So that was everyone. Got it. Okay. I knew there was an awkward pause for some reason, but it means I'm supposed to talk again. That's usually most of my talking is preceded by awkward pauses. So as the day finishes, you're boarding the ship, the Cloudbreaker, on its maiden voyage. And now this is not the first Spelljammer that's gone out. They built a small Spelljammer that went out for one mission, completely successful. It was just 2 people on board. Went incredibly well. And that ship has been retired. It was only meant for a single trip. It wasn't meant for long durations like this one was. And that was years ago. So, as you each cross the threshold into the ship, into the Cloudbreaker, going up the gangplank and into the vessel itself, you step inside the ship for the first time. You hear the ship speak each of your names. And so it says, "Welcome, Curie. Welcome, Flora. Welcome, Piper. Welcome, Dietrich. Welcome, Lilac. Welcome, Dermot." And for everybody, as they announce each of the people that step into the ship.
I hug them as they come through, if they want.
After everyone has kind of entered into the vessel in the main area, the guests and the few crew that are tending to the guests, you hear the ship speak again. "My name is Felix. If you need anything, just say Felix."
Felix.
"Yes, Dietrich."
Where's the bridge?
"The bridge can be found in the forward section of the second floor." Deck.
Thank you, Felix.
That's going to be lovely and slightly unnerving.
So you're on the ship, and you're asked to each take to your rooms. Your rooms are all in the same corridor, on the same floor, right across from each other. So you're no more than one door spaced out from each of you, 3 of you on one side, 3 on the other. And on this floor are the rest of the guests. The crew quarters are one below. They are minimal rooms. They're not really fancy. They're not designed for luxury. This is not a cruise ship. They are about 8 by 8 rooms with a bed, a little bench, and a place to put some clothes, a locker, sort of a armoire to put some clothing, other clothing in, and that's it. There's not much to them.
This is my favorite kind of room, Flora. It's very nice.
Did we just follow Flora into her room?
It has an exit. You can get out of it.
I know. Yeah, that's a good room for you. Are you planning to bunk down with me, or do you want to actually stay in the room they gave you? I'm okay either way, but
no, I can stay. I can stay in my room.
Okay.
I have Felix.
That's true. Did you remember to pack your blanket?
Felix.
Yes, Dermot.
Can I have a blanket?
Extra amenities can be found under your bed.
Thank you. Yeah, I have a blanket. Yeah.
So we are just meant to relax?
That's the idea.
I guess.
We won.
This is meant to be a vacation of sorts. We weren't given specific instructions, were we? Were we?
No.
We were just there.
Felix.
Yes, Flora. This is gonna get old.
Or
Are we expected to do anything before we launch tonight, today, later?
I don't understand the question.
Is there anything that we're expected to do before the ship leaves?
Go to your rooms.
Felix, is there any sort of observatory that we can watch the maiden launch of our vessel?
All hands and passengers will be invited on deck for the release of the ship.
Understood. Is there a library on the ship?
There is a library on the ship for research, but it is not yet stocked.
Well, that's disappointing.
When you say it's not stocked, does that mean
It's a
just
room
not
of shelves.
stocked well or fine?
it's only shitty books.
What's a Reader's Digest?
Oh, it's a whole collection of
And,
Uncle
and
John's
highlights have
bathroom
already been
reader.
filled out.
old almanacs. And,
Golf Digest.
were we given as part of our training? Were we given a sense of the systems, like the amenities on board, like the things to do, or is that something
There's
that
really
we
nothing
should be
to
asking
do.
in character?
It's not not a luxury vessel. There's the galley. I mean, you were shown what you were shown. You will be given more kind of free reign of the ship once they've taken off and gotten underway. But again, there's not a lot that's done here. Like you can use if you're interested in running any of the sort of weird experiments, or there's something you want to learn about, or you want to research while you're there, you're welcome to use what's there. But like, there's a half-finished alchemy lab, and there's probably a few books in the library, not very many. They just haven't started to put in. They don't know what they need yet. That's part of what this mission is about. Like, what types of things are we going to learn? What type of things should we be prepared for, etc.
If you do want something to read, Dietrich or LILAC, I've got a bunch of papers about different notes about different animals and plants and things that are in the forest outside Ashport. It might not be super interesting if you don't like plants and animals, but I like them, so there's a lot of notes.
Oh well, I mean, I like plants.
The liner notes are the best part.
Why would you write in the book?
Yes, Dietrich, why would you write in a book?
No, it's a you write on the edges of an album so that people know your thoughts on particular happenings within the.
They're like footnotes.
Right, but live annotated after the book has been printed.
Like footloose notes.
They smell like bacon.
Cooked at 6 degrees.
Oh God! You know what?
Nope.
Kelvin.
Taking that
No, that's
literally
wrong.
is
It's the other way.
tremendously upsetting.
I know what
Freeze
you're
dried.
talking about, yeah. I know that the band Duvet was famous for that. They were a cover band.
That was awesome.
Welcome to Shenanigoons.
Fire.
Cover band. Oh man.
I don't feel very comforted by that joke.
No.
Don't be such a wet blanket.
Did they do Down with the Sickness?
Holy sheep.
Are we
Thank
good?
you, Tessa.
All right.
Welcome to
goodness.
Shenanigoons. We love that you've subscribed.
There we go.
Tuned into Shenanigoons, and no one here was bribed. I tell ya, mayhem, magic, mystery is usually the
Our little
vibe.
person isn't up,
Strapping
though.
for Shenanigoons, you're awesome. You've subscribed.
Oh, thank God.
Welcome to Shenanigoons. You're awesome. You subscribed. You tuned into the Shenanigoons, and no one here was bribed.
No,
Mayhem, magic, mystery is usually the vibe. The vibe. Strapping for Shenanigoons. You're awesome. You subscribed.
There's one more.
Welcome to Shenanigoons.
Have you the original?
Subscribe.
OG.
Here at Shenanigoons, no one was
Original
bribed.
This is
I
our
don't
break
think
quick.
I've heard this.
Magic mystery is usually the vibe. Oh, thank you, you're awesome, 'cause you subscribed.
That was your chance to use the bathroom. I hope you guys used it.
I was gonna say that was our break time.
All right. So at this point, we're stopping the flashback. The rest of your time here will be another flashback we're going to do, either in pieces or in whole, maybe next week. Right now, we are going to flash back, or flash forward, to the present. And in the present, your ship has crashed. You have been slammed against the walls. You have taken a lot of damage. On average, we're just going to say you have about 10% of your hit points left. You are not sure the state of the rest of the vessel. At this point, you've enjoyed the luxury of gravity that exists You've probably walked on the outside of the ship, meaning you can literally walk off the edge of the ship and down the edge of it and to the bottom and stand underneath the bottom of the ship as gravity pulls you towards the center. You're in a bubble of oxygen that moves with the ship. And you are surrounded by nothing but stars. When you flew away from the planet, it was so fast. The planet just kind of faded from view. Got smaller and smaller and smaller, almost like somebody throwing a ball away from you, just watching it disappear. You've been traveling for hours. And now, for some reason, the ship has crashed. Or maybe not into something, maybe into something you don't know. It tumbled for what seemed like forever. Everything that you own is scattered throughout your room, the hallways, and elsewhere. Although it seems like most, if not all the stuff that wasn't damaged, which we'll talk about later, kind of is still on the ship. It doesn't look like anything was thrown. So while the gravity tumbled along with you, at least everything still kind of stayed with the ship. There's nothing kind of floating off, no people floating off. As the ship sort of rights itself, you realize that you are surrounded by this blackness. There are no stars anywhere around as you look out any of the windows, the portholes, or anything. As you start to clamber through the ship, where were each of you when it happened? And it doesn't really matter. But it might matter in what happens. Scraticus, thank you for coming to our premiere of our Spelljammer campaign. We are just getting into the thick of it.
Logan, so Curie would have been where there were maybe a lot of people, maybe like a...
So there is a
gathering,
the mess hall, which has been turned kind of into a banquet hall for this maiden one-day voyage, this semi-luxury voyage that you're taking on this Spelljammer ship. So that's where most of the people were, which is about, maybe 12 of the 25 to 30 people that are on the ship, kind of gathered in that area, along with the souffle, the ship's cook, Lantern, the other gentleman you met that would not be there, and also the third NPC besides the captain that you met,
Niesel.
Niesel would not have been there because Niesel would have been in the engine room, the hamster room with the giant hamster wheels and the giant space hamsters. So you were in that room, okay? Anybody else that would have been in that room? Luxury or being around people, talking, getting to know them.
I don't know if it makes any difference, Logan, but when things started moving and people started being thrown about, Curie would have pretty quickly unsheathed her claws and
Excellent.
anchored onto a wall or something, trying to not get thrown about as much as possible. I don't know how effective that is when the wall is rotating and being flung about.
Everyone else seeing here? Have we just lost Wolf? If anybody else having problems seeing or hearing, I guess you wouldn't hear this, so don't let me know.
We're audio. We have audio.
Okay. So real quick, we are on our hype train. For every level we hit on the hype train from donations, I am going to give one reroll to the reroll pool. So they are at 2 rerolls right now, right? I think we're at the level 2, are we? Level 2 hype train? Yes.
Yeah.
So we're at level 2 hype train right now, so they have 2 rerolls added to their reroll pool. Now is the time when one of you needs to choose who is going to be tracking the reroll pool. And I'm going to be... Okay, Angela, you are now in charge of the reroll pool. So as long as we get more and more donations and things... the audience will earn some awesome stuff, and of course the players will earn rerolls in their reroll pool. So please hype it up, give us some donations, give us some bits and things. Also, the bits will be added to the bit pool weekly that we are going to be introducing next week, which will be coming up. So I will definitely be considering that. Thank you. Back to the game. So was anybody else in the mess hall? And Angela, I apologize what you were saying there.
I was saying that I don't know if it makes much of a difference in terms of any damage or how oriented Curie might be during all of this, but as soon as like the room started rotating, she would unsheath her claws and start hooking into the wall because I have a climb speed. So I don't know
wouldn't
if the
matter.
wall is okay. So it's
There's
just, there's so
no-
much tumult that it doesn't matter.
No, at that
Okay.
point you're
Just
not
checking.
so much on the walls, you were being slammed into the walls.
She'd
Yeah.
make the effort and
Yes,
fail.
I figured there are probably scratch marks where you tried to kind of grab onto the walls and things, and you were probably the first to kind of stop yourself. But yeah, there was
But very quickly.
very quickly, you're just off it. But as things are calming down, you were the first to right yourself in the entire room. Nobody else was in the mess hall. Where was everybody else? Lilac?
Yeah, I was gonna say that, based on the previous interactions, I feel like I probably would have been bothering the cook, even though the cook is real weird. I'm hungry.
Okay, yeah. So the cook has kind of recognized that in you, and Chef Flay has, and chefs know when there's people who are hungry, they want to cook for them. So Chef
I
Flay
just
has kind of
appreciate
invited
multiple
you.
breakfasts, okay?
Chef Flay has invited you into the back, into the kitchen, which seemed like a great honor at the time, to the chef's table, which is just a little chair there that they made some stuff up for you. However, when everything started to tumble, all of the knives and other sharp instruments in the room did not make it for a pleasant experience to be in here. Although Chef Flay did try very hard to grab onto the sharp things and hold on to them as everything started to tumble.
So that's how the fighter with the highest AC is down to 10%
Right.
hit points.
Perfect.
Knives hurtling towards you.
Yeah.
Is
Flora,
there a-
You're in a blender with a bunch of knives.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
was there another spot with gathered people, or is that? would that
So
have
there's
been-
probably a few people out on deck, and the deck was probably one of the most scary places to be because you actually started to feel the gravity from the ship leave you at certain points, and so as you're kind of being pulled away from it, it lessens. You actually feel almost at some points that you are drifting so much away that you're not going to be pulled back to the ship. And then all of a sudden you kind of feel it come back and slam into you again. While you're on deck, though, you see that the ship acted like it hit something, but you didn't see anything that was hit. And the whole ship just kind of jerked and then started twisting and tumbling and knocking over.
Okay, well, that's where I probably would have been,
Okay.
where there was a gathering of people.
Piper would have been out on deck too.
Thank you, guys. As a reminder of the hype train, every level we get, they get a reroll. Thank you, guys.
We're at level 3.
Yeah, yay. Flora would have been out on the deck also because that's where she's going to be able to see the most stuff and she wants to see what's happening.
Perfect. It was right as you hit whatever it was, is that the sky kind of turned black around you. Piper, where were you?
I was on deck.
Okay, and then Dietrich?
I think Dietrich would have been in the empty library.
Okay, all right. So you were in there. None of the shelves were bolted down. So all the shelves kind of just started moving and crashing around. The books, they did have a handful of books in there. Mostly, as you said, Reader's Digest, half filled out, highlights, magazines, Golf Digest, and what was the fourth thing? I can't remember.
Uncle John's bathroom.
There you go, Uncle John's bathroom readers, and they were all just kind of like, but these are all hardback versions of them. They're like compendiums of them, and so they're all just
I bought them at
slamming into
Costco,
you.
yeah.
The nice leather bound hardback Reader's Digest
They have
compendiums
the
they make.
discounted sticker that it doesn't come off.
Yeah, no, and you can never get it off without ruining the
It's
cover.
completely ruined.
So as everything starts to settle down, you start to realize the real catastrophe that's happened around you, and you start to collect yourselves, and the ship's voice comes across Felix, and you hear,
Oh.
Another test, Saurus. I'm still standing.
Felix?
and and then it seems to go silent. It does not respond to anything else from there on out.
Oh no, should we find the others?
Oh yes, we should help those that are here first, and then go find the others. That's what I'm going to do.
As you start to look around the deck, you see that there are several people who unfortunately did not make it. They're just people, mostly all of them, just wearing red shirts, just laying completely dead. It
was a speed dating party. You had to wear the identifying shirt if you were.
Well, I think they were held back from preschool too, so or kindergarten. So then they have to.
What?
Red shirting is being held back a year from kindergarten is another.
Okay.
It was levels of never mind.
One of them had a little tour guide flag. It was just the whole group.
The whole group just came.
Sorry, this is meant to be serious. I'm sorry.
I've never heard anyone say that about Shenanigoons.
Sorry, I take it back.
This moment, yeah, okay, I got it. So as you start to kind of go around the entire ship, you see that most of the crew is dead, although the captain is, while unconscious, is going to live because I love this captain.
I feel like several people might have died because of the captain.
and the NPCs that you met obviously are still alive, but very badly hurt. No one can find Lantern. That's the one person you can't seem to find on the ship right now. Who makes it to the hamster room, the engine room first?
Welcome to Shenanigoons. We love that you subscribed.
We got 5 of these now, so
Players, take a bathroom break if you have to.
we're gonna be here for about a minute and a half.
And that's, I believe, level 5 in our hype train.
I think that's level
5 rerolls in our
level 4 complete. So
Level
we've
4,
now hit
yeah.
level 4. So welcome to Shenanigans.
I will.
We are level 5, love. Look at the set.
Nope,
Look at the
level
set.
4 is complete. It said.
what we finish.
Okay, yeah.
You're on level 5.
Got it.
Enjoy the smooth dulcet tones of magic. On a 5-disc set for $9.99.
Thank you, you're awesome, cause you
Thank you for calling
subscribed.
3 more.
Ask
Oh, the Disney one. I mean the House of Mouse one.
The mouse overlord.
Also,
the princess, the royalty, the young royal that speaks to animals.
Mm-hmm.
So Flora. I don't know.
exactly.
Flora is Disney princess confirmed.
I go to the hamsters.
Okay, so Dermot,
With
as
Flora.
you arrive, was that it? Anyway, what? Okay, so
Find out.
so Dermot, it's too loud. I got to be able to adjust this audio. 5 is awesome, so thank you.
What was that thing you said one time, Logan? I'd love to have that problem where we couldn't actually get the game going.
That.
Virgin.
Of course.
For people who don't know what's going on,
I have a
snuck
Stream
version
Deck,
of this song.
Straticus. So if you can tell me, Straticus, how to have that adjust the volume down with my Stream Deck, I would really appreciate that.
My 90s alt rock. For anyone who was wondering, I snuck a version of the song with an extended outro in there, so it's kind of like, oh god, is it going to be the long one every time?
This song makes me think of my blanket.
We took the time to write them, Straticus, so we feel like we need to listen to them.
Don't mind.
That's why we
We're,
danced
we're,
around.
we're working on being able to do shorter versions, but we'll get there. We didn't get it done for the opening. Thank you guys so much for all the amazing subscriptions. Okay, Dermot, as you arrive down to the hamster wheel room. This is this very large room with a huge sort of cage like you saw before, with all of this kind of bedding in it, and this gigantic wheel in the middle of the room that is just kind of slowly sort of creaking back and forth. You see Niesel over there laying, sobbing, laying against Dorothy, and who has died, the large hamster, giant space hamster that was powering your ship.
Hi, Niesel.
He kind of looks up, and he kind of starts when you come in. He like almost immediately kind of composes himself, almost like a self-defense reflex. He just kind of like stuff. No, it's fine. What's wrong? What?
What can I do to help? I want to help. I'm so sorry.
There's nothing to do. It's over. It's okay. It's part of life. What happened?
Are there injuries? I don't know what happened. I was on the deck, and I flew away, and then I came back, and I was injured as well.
Oh.
There's a lot of death and injuries aboard.
Dorothy died. She didn't make it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Were there any others?
I haven't left.
Would you like me to go find out? I can heal some of them if they're injured. If their little paws are broken. I'll poop up on the nose.
Do whatever you can.
Okay. I'm gonna go do that.
This was, we hope people that there's no other hamsters on board.
This was the only one?
We didn't need any others for this trip.
All right. Well, what do you want? What should we do now? I don't know what to do.
I have to go and get something. Can you stay here with her?
Oh, yes, of course. I'm going to support her. Support her as much as I can. Even though.
Thank you.
Maybe the kids are hiding, like you said. They're hiding and they're gonna show up.
He just kind of looks down and stands up, leaning against the wall, and pats you on the shoulder, then leaves the room.
Hello? Hello? Is there any kitties here? Hello? I'm right here. I'm you.
I'm gonna go towards wherever the sound is coming from.
So you start to head over towards the cage, and you see some of the bedding in the cage is moving.
Is everything okay? I'm here. I'm here for you.
And much like the cages, it's not a real cage. There's no door. It's just kind of open, kind of a pit that holds the bedding in it. The bedding is all over this room, though, but most of it stayed in here. And you just see the bedding kind of moving in this area, about a basketball-sized area, just moving a little bit with a little bit of a coming from it.
I'm going to use something called universal speech. And then basically this, whatever I'm assuming it's the hamster, will be able to understand me for 10 minutes.
Okay. Universal speech, I assume, is like tongues or something like that.
Yeah, it's a bonus action. I have to use a bardic inspiration, and I can choose a number of creatures and they magically understand me regardless of the language I speak.
Excellent. So what do you say?
Can I see what's there?
Do
Or
you start
just
to do you start to move the
Yeah.
bedding aside?
I'm gonna try to look under the blanket.
So as you start to move the bedding, and it's more like just kind of like torn up large pieces of cloth. As you start to move the bedding aside, you don't see anything underneath, but it still seems to move.
Are you okay? Are you hurt? I'm gonna hug you and make you feel better.
And I'll lay down.
As you say that, Dermot, please fetch your box. And open it.
Ren, the look of sheer betrayal on your face right now. How could you?
There's just a lot going on, okay?
Y'all just my emotions. Thank you for the raid.
Appearing before you is a small, giant space hamster, tan and white.
Oh my god.
I love you forever. And then another day. And
Dermot,
I will
please pick.
protect you.
Oh, please pick one of your allies to stumble across you at this point.
Well, Flora would have been right behind me. She really had a connection with them as well.
So, Flora, you come running into the room after trying to help a few people that Dermot passed by or didn't see. And you see Dermot pulling from the bedding this baby giant space hamster. And you see the Dorothy, the mother, didn't make it. No one else is in here.
Oh no. Where's Niesel?
They left to go find out what to do next, and this was the only one, and then I saved this one, but there may be others. I'm not sure. They hide.
I'll help you look. She starts digging through the bedding.
You start to explore this room. Flora, choose another one of your allies to come across you.
Maybe LILAC working their way up from the kitchen, trying to find people.
All right.
Okay, yeah, I'm fairly punctured. And stumbling around looking for people I recognize.
Whom you find. You would have probably run across Curie first in the main room there, but Curie, that room would have been taken care of fairly quickly. Not a lot of people made it there.
So maybe Curie and I are kind of
maybe coming together.
Stumbling with each other.
Yeah. That's what I was implying. I apologize.
Curie would be leaning very hard on her cane. That, like, clearly other things have been injured. It's good that I have an assistive device.
Oh, Dermot, are you uninjured?
I am injured, but I don't worry about me. I'll get better.
Oh no.
The mother hamster is no longer. She's passed away. And I found one of the children. It was mewing at me. It was so scared. I'm going to protect it.
I believe you will do an admirable job at that.
And Piper and
Dorothy
Dietrich.
didn't make it.
Piper and Dietrich will come in at that point.
This
Who
place
needs-
looks. Go for it.
Who needs healing? Anybody? I've got a little bit left.
Curie's near the door, just watching Dermot, and she's just like clutching the pocket watch that she has in her pocket, or she has it out, and she's just devastated looking at Dermot right now.
What's
I
going
have a
on?
casualty to deal with. Dermot's
Jonathan
handling.
didn't leave yet.
Looks like this place fared about as well as the rest of the ship.
On a sort of impulse, Curie wanders towards where that kick up of was it like hay, you said? Or
It's bedding, but yeah.
bedding?
We're basically where
Just-
Dermot's sitting right now.
Yeah. And she's just sort of impulsively looking through just to be like, that are space hamsters like regular hamsters? In the sense of like offspring litter sizes. So
Yeah,
she's sort of like in this
well-
headspace of
Understood.
Yeah,
And yeah,
Flora's
Flora's
right there
the
next
same
to
way.
you.
The two of you dig and dig, and you do not find any others. Again, the litter may not have been had here necessarily, but the mother, the babies do come along. As they were saying, they may not all stick with the same person, maybe the same hamster. You can find a lot more details out from Niesel later, but you do not find any now.
All right. It is, well, some of us could be made useful, I imagine. We should probably go find... As I said, Piper regimented that there will be a chain of command to follow.
Yes.
At that point,
Captain was
Niesel,
still alive. He was just injured.
Yeah, I would. Did Niesel just enter? Because
Niesel just
I
comes
need
back
some
into the
hamster
room.
relations.
As Niesel comes back into the room, he just looks at Dermot and sees what he has holding, and he starts crying. And he comes over and he just gives Dermot a huge hug and says, "Thank you."
Yes, of course.
Everything's done as well as it can be now. The crew's taking care of things.
Do you need healing, Niesel?
I've gotten it. Thank you. And he just kind of sits back and watches Dermot.
I'm so sorry, Niesel.
It's a part of life. It's okay.
I don't know what to do next.
What are you going to call him?
What? I ask him, what is your name? Oh, his name is Peanut.
Perfect. That's a very good name.
He's very fond of it.
God damn it, Mike.
Peanut starts to nuzzle into your fur. He does look a
Mother gave
little
it
bit
to-
battered. It looks like he was tossed around a bit. Might do with some healing.
Oh, I have already done that, but I do
Okay.
more.
I didn't know if you did healing or not. Okay. so-
All of my bonus actions.
All right.
Oh no.
God.
I need to make them a bed.
What kind of bed is required? I'm reasonably good at building things.
I've never cared for a baby before. I've only seen one a couple of times. Maybe the bedding should be used, but in something closer to home. Someplace where we can take care of him.
Does it need a crib or a nest? What kind of receptacle?
I don't know that it would be opposed to any of them.
What would you like for a bedding? Yeah, just someplace warm and soft, like mommy. We can do that for you. We can do that for you.
Nisa looks back at at Dorothy and kind of looks back, saddened again. Maybe you should all leave me to take care of this.
Yeah, okay. Here, you can take Peanut.
No,
and I'm gonna
Peanut
be
should
back.
go with you.
Oh, okay. Come with me, Peanut. We're gonna go now.
She is with Zoris now. And she just kind of pats Niesel's arm.
Flora goes over and offers Niesel a hug.
Nisa will hug you.
I think Dietrich doesn't really know what to say or do at this point, but he'll pull out his probably battered panpipe and just start playing like a soft little peaceful melody. Just try to keep the mood at ease, I guess.
Okay. And the six of you return back to your dorms. Nothing else really to do until you hear from one of the crew. At this point, you all may open your boxes if you wish, as I describe to you our new game. So,
Is the game angrily open a box with a knife while Logan talks?
Yes. In the last season of Shenanigoons, we had a game where you couldn't describe, you couldn't use the same reference to a movie or to a place more than once. And if you did, then something happened. Now, we've worked in the Wheel of Causality, we have all that now, so we don't need that game anymore. We've gotten rid of that. So what we have now is our escort. And I warned you all this was going to be an escort mission. It is not just an escort mission, it's an escort game. If at any time somebody is not caring for Peanut, meaning that I cannot see him on screen, you've lost him. And you will have to find him. So somebody has to hold him at all times. You can create a baby Bjorn to carry him around with. You can pin him to your shoulder. I warn you, do not put batteries in him because he does make weird sounds. He repeats back to you what you say, and it's really terrifying.
Why would you tell them that?
I'm trying to warn people.
Someone's gonna do it now.
And if he is ever on screen more than once, he actually is somehow there twice. And then when I pointed out, he instantly vanishes for one place or two or three as his multi-dimensional temporalness changes. But it is very possible that two players could have him in their hands, in their rooms at the same time and not realize it. But as soon as it is realized that he is in more than one place at once, he disappears from one of those places.
A quantum hamster? Really?
You have a quantum hamster, yes.
Oh my god.
This scarf is the best costume accessory I thought up.
I didn't think I was gonna have a use for this little slot that you were supposed to like attach.
I originally was
the
going to send you bags of
fur
flour
to.
or eggs, but I thought this was better.
Seriously, we're gonna egg baby us?
Well, I'm hamster babying you.
Much better.
There are actual raw eggs inside of each of your hamsters, so just be careful.
You'll smell them eventually.
That's what's in the battery compartment.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I did tighten the screws on the battery compartments pretty tight, so yeah, if you get them off, I'll be impressed.
That's amazing.
So, is everyone clear on the new rule? One hamster on screen at a time. No hamster means you have lost him, and nobody's sure where he is, and we will have to spend some time finding him and whatever mischief he's gotten into.
God damn it.
Thank you. Our alert thing's not popping up, and I don't know why.
This is not sustainable. Just oh.
I fixed it.
All of you following? Are you just following for our pain?
Is it just the hamsters? Is that what
Are you
we're...
just
Thank you all
is
for
it
the
just the
follow.
cute hamsters, or is it the sad hamsters? Which hamster are you following for?
I also did say that my goal was to make you cry in episode 1, not the last episode. So
Yeah.
hope that worked out. And Mike, thank you so much for helping me with that. That was a big help. Not that you meant to, it wasn't planned.
No, he meant to.
Well, he meant to, but it wasn't planned. Okay, so as you guys go to rest for after the tragedy, a short while later, you hear Felix start to try to talk again, and you get more of that sort of weird, strange sound coming from Felix. And the captain comes down to greet you all. I hope everyone's okay.
Gotta stop that emotional slingshot.
We crashed into something, and I'm not sure what. But soon,
Rocket Man.
I will tell you.
Great.
And don't you have like sensors or something?
Seems to be that Felix.
There were
might be
people
the
in
sense.
the crow's nest. They didn't see anything.
This isn't gonna stop.
Nothing at all.
So it crashed into something invisible?
Maybe.
Interesting.
I'd really like to tell you, but I can't.
That just happened. Okay.
If you ever wondered, Logan, how you could lose my respect, you just found it.
How's that emoji going?
Yeah.
Pygmy?
How's that disappointment emoji going, Jesse? Let us know when you're done with that. Just let us know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll use it. We'll use it much.
Did all of the crew survive? Or...
Negative.
Yeah.
Oh.
Only a small handful of people survived. You were the lucky ones.
Small handful. That sounds disastrous.
How many passengers were aboard?
10.
And we're the only ones left, or is that how many are left?
No, there were 10 passengers. 7 are left. And then there's the crew.
Well, that's.
Who was the other passenger?
Lantern, the crazy guy with the mask.
Curie glances at Lilac.
All right. Point made.
Other than that, there's me, Chef Flay, Niesel, and 2 other crew members to be named later.
Well, that's convenient. Is there anything we can do to assist?
Right now, just stay here and wait. Once Felix is working, we'll know what to do.
Is anyone else in need of healing?
Not right now. We're doing fine.
All right.
I want to ask more, but I also want you to leave. But is there anybody else you can talk to?
Felix.
If anyone has any sort of magical understanding, maybe you could go down to Felix's control room and see if you can help.
I can help with that.
Oh yeah, we should.
Good
all
luck,
go.
and I like your hamster. And he turns and walks. She turns and walks out.
There will come a day where we don't blink at that voice, and I fear that day.
Me too. Me too, Angela.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, I guess we better get down to Felix.
Well, I don't know what good I'll be.
Perhaps we best stay close though, in case something happens again.
Oh no, I had
Better
no intention of
safety in numbers.
wandering off. I just wanted it clear that I wasn't going to be doing anything.
So you start to head down to the lower bowels of the ship, where all of the majority of things happen. It's actually the same level that has the hamster wheel on it, but way to the front of the ship, just below the two decks below the bridge, kind of tucked out of the way, is a very large sealed room, and on it says Felix, P-H-E-L-I-X, control room.
Well, fortune favors the bold. Let's see what there is to see.
Dermot, you have arcane sensibilities, don't you? I don't know if it would.
I have a few.
I don't know if it would be an intrusion, but it seems to me you'd probably be of more use working with the others if you want me to watch little Peanut in the meantime.
Here they are. They like to be cuddled.
I'll do my best.
I will never call you out during a transition. You don't have to be careful.
All right. Well, Felix?
No response.
So, I think we've got a bit of time. Give me 10 minutes. And he'll begin to ritual cast comprehend languages.
Okay.
Fast forward 10 minutes.
Fast forward 10 minutes. You can now comprehend languages.
Cool. And
the door was written in common, so just so you know.
Right.
Okay.
So go into Felix's
He's
court.
casting to learn
It is
technobabble.
a sealed room. So it is locked of some sort. You can't see any doorknob or any way to get in necessarily, but there is a door.
Anyone know how to open locked doors?
I just retired from helping Dietrich. If you really want my assistance, you... Fine.
Curie has in her possession some thieves' tools.
Okay. There's no lock. There's no anything. It just looks like a door sitting inside of a frame, very well made, but there's no mechanisms on it that you can find. But you can give me an investigation check.
I would like to do that, please.
Sorry, I was in the edit screen for my my character sheet and not the pushing buttons part of my character sheet.
That is a 12.
So as you kind of search over this door, you don't find any sort of mechanisms, any triggers, nothing really.
Well, if there's need for arcane influence for the door, or for Felix to function, it seems to reason that perhaps the doors are also of such a thing. Perhaps just casting something would do it.
I can try.
Something simple to start. Don't overexert yourself.
No, it's simple. It's just a little verbal thing I picked up when I, Felix, open the door to your chambers.
You hear this weird sort of sound yet again come from Felix. The sound just seems to come from everywhere, not necessarily the door.
Well,
Nothing
that was
happens
mine.
with the door.
Try to push on the door.
Nothing
See if
happens.
it moves
Feels
to the
solid.
left or the right, or the up or down.
Nope.
I cast friends on the door.
No, it doesn't seem to do anything.
It's not very friendly.
Piper starts reaching for her mace behind her back.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna step
Perhaps
away
that's
now.
plan C.
Suit yourself.
Anyone have anything of a thaumaturgical influence? Perhaps.
I mean, I've got some spells I can cast, but the ones that are easy for me to cast are gonna do damage to the door. I don't think we want a fire in here.
No, decidedly not.
No fire.
Can we look around? Can I wander off?
Sure.
Like when Piper got the maul hammer out, I would have kind of wandered, backed away a little bit, and I'd like to look in another part of the surrounding area.
Okay. What are you looking for?
Panels, anything that looks like it has any sort of electrical or digital computer type thing that would be used to communicate with the door.
So as a reminder, this ship is just a standard wood sailing ship. There are no such panels or anything like that. There's no marks, levers, or buttons or switches or anything you can find near there. Gotcha. But as you're wandering around, the captain does kind of wander down this area. How's it going, Dermot?
Oh,
the bear.
The door is very unfriendly, and it won't open.
I thought you said you were arcanically inclined.
Oh, we are a little bit. But...
So use a knock spell.
Oh, I don't know that.
Fine. Allow me. And the captain comes down and casts knock on the door, which opens the door.
I feel like by that point as well, Lilac was probably standing next to Piper, and
Two hammers ready.
Just slowly raising their hammers.
I have a small hammer.
Yes.
Still slowly raising.
Please don't hammer my ship. We need it to
That was plan C. It's alright.
return home. And then cast knock and the door opens. Good luck. We're all counting on you. And he leaves.
Are you? Oh,
She
dear.
leaves.
Well, if you didn't pick Shatner, you would have had an easier
Yeah.
time with the pronouns.
I'll get there. So
We enter.
So as you walk into this room, every wall looks like a strange Frankensteinian alchemy lab built into the wall, like beakers and things that are kind of embedded halfway, weird sort of bubbling things, and a Jacob's ladder with electricity just going up, and they're all embedded into the walls in different ways. They all seem to kind of work together in a weird Rube Goldberg-esque sort of way to do something. All over the walls are all these runes that are glowing and different arcane symbols, language comprehension, tongues, just all sorts of different representations of communication spells and magic mouth and just tons of stuff. In this room, nothing, at least initially, appears damaged.
Felix, are you there? The sound seems to be coming from everywhere still.
Yeah. Give me a perception check, Dietrich.
Okay. What is my bonus? Oh, it's not great.
You
That's
said
a
one
14.
was. Sorry. You said one was magic mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But it's not the spell itself, it's just sort of the rune that represents it arcanically. You've never seen a permanent magic mouth, so you're not sure what it would look like.
I got a 14 on the perception check.
14. So you heard something strange behind one of the panels in between this Jacob's ladder going off while it was trying to speak.
All right. Make my way over there and try to pry off the panel, or...
Sorry, panel was the wrong word. It is a wall, and inside this wooden wall are just embedded these beakers and these glass tubes that are half embedded into these walls. They seem pretty well stuck.
Does it look like there should be like fluid inside of those tubes?
There is fluid in them, and they move,
okay.
and they do all sorts of different weird bubbling things. Some of them feel warm, some feel cold. Near them, different runes all over the walls. But the sound you heard was, you can't quite describe it, but it was something almost sort of high-pitched, but it wasn't anything on this wall.
Knowing that, like, just being familiar with sound production, as far as like being in a band is concerned, Dietrich is going to pull out one of the sheets of now probably crumpled rice paper that he has in his pocket that he usually keeps for like folding his origami tchotchkes, and he's gonna like hold it near like where he thinks that that high-pitched noise might have been coming from, and like, Felix, could you keep talking, please?
Oh, and you start to hear them But as you're closer to this wall, while you do feel vibrations in your paper, give me another perception check with advantage this time.
Glad I had advantage. That is an 18.
You definitely hear something, not from this wall, but behind this wall. Kind of a...
Knock on the wall, see if it sounds hollow.
It does
If
sound
there's-
quite hollow.
All right, start looking for a hinge or a handle of some sort that might... if this is like a hidden door or...
Give an investigation
if it's
check.
Okay.
Does anybody want to help him out as they start to realize what he's kind of doing there? Anybody who's got an investigation proficiency? Great.
I do as well. Yeah.
All right.
Well, Dermot, do it. It's fine.
You just add. It's gonna. The way we're trying to do this now is it's gonna add their proficiency bonus. 2 people. It's a big enough wall can help. So that would be +4 to your roll, +2 from each of them.
Then that is a 19 investigation check.
With a 19 investigation check, it is just enough. So, with where Dermot and Dietrich and Curie can each look, when one of you, it doesn't matter who, finds or pushes or twists some piece on this wall, and you hear this kind of, and the wall just pulls back a little bit, sort of pivoting against the center, like half of the wall, the right half can swing open.
I do so.
As you start to pull on it, something pulls back from the other side and tries to close it.
Rude.
Oh, who goes there?
And the door is trying to be closed again.
He'll put his foot in the way of the door.
Well, it's not quite open that much. You can give me a strength check.
I actively will not be assisting.
There's not much on the other end either.
I mean, oh, you're trying to close the door. Someone help.
Someone else help.
Hi.
We'll see if Dietrich manages to not have the door shut first. What'd you get, Dietrich?
I got a 15, which for a strength check is a 15.
So you actually do manage to hold it where it's at. You haven't quite pulled it open yet, but you do kind of manage to hold it. The person on the other end, even though they are weak, must have somehow leveraged something. I have no idea because I rolled really well too. But with Piper's help, so now whoever's, if Piper, you're proficient, you should roll and then you'll add Dietrich's proficiency.
I'm actually going to use my channel divinity.
Okay.
To assist with this.
Okay, what does that do?
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to find where it went. I'm going to go ahead and activate my Peerless Athlete ability.
So be careful what you say there.
To give myself advantage on strength checks for the next 10 minutes.
So you definitely want to be the one
Sorry,
rolling, and
next hour.
you'll add the +2 to Dietrich's as you pop that open.
And Dietrich's also gonna like hum like something, just like a little encouraging tune, and Piper, I'm inspiring you. I don't have words for it.
Alrighty.
I also do. I also call. I cast enhance ability and give you bull strength.
Oh God!
You have bull strength.
Opening the fuck out of this door.
Which also gives advantage, so it doesn't stack, but that's fine.
It's double
stacking.
So with all of that, that's a 25 to get the door open.
Is that all? So as Dietrich is struggling against this door in his full man-looking human form, is it human-looking man or man-looking? I can't remember what he said.
Human-looking man.
Human-looking man, and no, I think it was man-looking human, and starts to pull on this door. Piper just walks up and just kind of like, and just walks the door back. On the other end is the strangest weirdest looking creature you've ever seen, as holding onto a bar on the back of this door, being dragged along these two tiny little feet on these super thin dowel rod like legs up to this large sort of wooden sphere of a body and head, and the two arms also very dowel like, and these small little sprout like wings. One large eye in the center, and face paint, flowers on 3 different sides. You hear, oh, no. Oh. And he just kind of stands there and looks at you with one eye, completely defeated, with really beautiful eyelash.
Hi.
Hi.
You okay? That was quite a crash.
Yeah. And he kind of looks behind him, and behind him inside this room is this very large sort of cone, and there's several of them, and there are several dozen levers and buttons all over inside of this.
Pay no attention to the Voltron behind the curtain.
And there's these weird wheels, and there's several books of notes and paintings, and for some strange reason, there's a rack of clothing. Although they aren't wearing any right now.
Is it fashionable clothing?
It's semi-fashionable, but it is very awkwardly meant for someone in a very awkward shape, like skinny jeans for a basketball, and he just like his arms just drop, and he just kind of like looks up and goes,
Are you hurt? Do you need healing?
I don't think so. You really shouldn't have opened that.
Why?
Because no one's supposed to know I'm in here.
Are you Felix?
No. Felix, yes.
Are you flying? The cloud breaker?
No, I can't. I can't do that. I don't cast spells.
Oh.
And what is it you do exactly?
Jeremy, you remember when you needed a blanket the other day? I told you where to find it.
You were very helpful. Thank you.
So you're the voice of Felix.
I guess I am kind of Felix, but my name's not Felix.
Oh, I'm so sorry. What is your name?
Oh, my name's Mo.
It's very nice to meet you, Mo.
Hi.
Simple, easy to remember.
You were doing a wonderful job with the ship before all the kerfuffle happened.
Kerfuffle?
All the chaos.
There was a crash.
Oh.
Terrible crash.
Were you smacked into something?
The event. Yeah, that was in my notes.
What?
What?
Notes.
Yeah,
Do you,
he
like
kind
you
of like
took
turns
notes
and looks
about it
back at all the.
happening?
Oh yeah, everything is predictable.
Oh, you mean notes about what was going to happen?
Yeah, you really shouldn't open that door.
Well, we were trying to assess what was happening with the ship. We're trying to survive. To be as polite as possible.
And the captain let us in here.
Ooh, we let you in here, but not in there.
We were sent to find out what was happening, and I believe we found out what was happening.
That's not good.
So,
Lilacs gonna kind of like poke their head into the door. Does this how to fix Felix?
That's funny.
That's Felix.
I'm not Felix. My name's Mo.
Yes.
So
is there even a Felix at all?
He kind of turns and looks at this weird sort of control board with all of these levers and things.
Okay.
Sorta. Well, see, there was some testing for a real Felix, but it broke. His eye just gets real wide.
Okay.
It broke?
Well, that's what we're supposed to say. Mm-hmm.
As opposed to what?
The
What
truth.
actually happened? Okay, well,
Which
let's start
is-
with that.
I'm not supposed to say that.
Oh, well.
Who told you weren't supposed to say that, dear?
Boss.
Bosses in captain, or bosses in higher than captain?
No, his name is Boss. He's the leader of the goblins that are building the ships.
We met him, yeah.
Mo, dear, are you saying that the captain is not aware of your existence here in the ship?
That is an accurate statement. Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck.
Lovely.
Well, that's interesting.
So, what did we crash into? And how do we get the ship going again?
I really don't know. I just knew that the event was going to happen.
How did you know that? And Curie kind of like glances up where Mo was.
There's this
looking.
bookshelf full of books. Oh, and he reaches up and just like kind of leans backwards in this weird awkward position, reaches back, grabs the book, comes forward, opens it up, and inside there is the most complicated mathematical formulas you've ever seen. Just
opens it,
geometry
goes-
over different levels of arithmetic and just like layers of text on the page. It's really simple,
Curie
and he just kind of like shows it to you.
Curie looks at the book. Nope. Closes it. And picks it up and tries to hand it to Lilac.
Lilac has just been getting like more and more like scrunched brow.
Dear, this seems your department.
They'll take the book, but they're still staring at Mo. So you knew we were going to crash and you didn't warn anyone?
Oh no, I can't do that.
Why?
Because that's not what we do. I'm a Modron. It's our job to make sure these things happen.
You made the ship crash?
No, you didn't need my help. That's not how we make things happen anyway. I would have to go to my home for that. Oh, my old home. My future home.
So,
You.
Mechanus, it's called. It's a realm, I guess you call them, right?
I mean,
So-
that's a word.
That's a true
Somehow-
statement.
Curie.
The captain
Go
doesn't
ahead.
know you exist.
That is correct.
But boss.
I like
knows.
your hamster friend.
Thank you. So
The only one left.
So, if you are supposed to be making these things happen, making sure that
No, my people
that they
are.
happen.
I can't
Right.
do much here.
Oh,
I
okay.
just do these for fun. And he takes the book back and puts it back on the shelf.
If he tries, Lilac does not allow it.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, you want to keep looking at it? That's okay.
No, they're just like they have the closed book in their left hand, just like clutching it, and like there's some white knuckling happening. And in the other hand, they're kind of like fiddling with the little like holder where their hammer is hanging on their waist.
let's not get hasty.
I am displeased with the situation.
As are we.
That's
all.
understandable.
So-
Mo, can you tell us anything about what's going to happen next?
Nope.
Do you know what's going to happen next?
Like
The
right
possibility,
now,
the probability of it.
if I had known what was going to happen, wouldn't I have locked the door?
Well, what about in the sense of the future of the ship's well-being?
Oh, the ship is fine. It'll make it back home.
What about the passengers?
How long do you live?
That is not hope-inspiring, but significantly longer than most of these yahoos.
How long do you want to
delicate.
live?
My people live pretty much forever.
Let's keep this productive, dear. No reason to resort to violence until we know it's called for.
Well, I do. So these books that you have, you consider them entertaining, right?
Well, it depends on which ones you're talking about. I mean, these are my
Right.
journals up here, but that's the entire Puppies of Mystery series right there.
Haven't dove into that one yet.
God, we're being piloted by a fan of youth literature.
He's a young adult, I
There's
think.
really nothing wrong with youth literature. Sometimes it's much easier to read. No, we're mad at him. Yes.
We'll stay on track.
Hey,
my point.
Mo.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Dietrich. I want to listen to your point.
Well, I was just wondering, like, you knew the event was going to happen, and there wasn't necessarily anything you could have done to avoid it. But
Right.
it's your people's mission to make sure that these things happen.
Sure.
How can you help with the next things that are supposed to happen with us? Even if you don't know what those things are.
Oh, I'm not
Do
here
you
to help
know
with
how you
that.
can
I'm
help?
here to make sure something doesn't happen with me.
Right. Okay. Well, that was my point. I'm done.
Yeah, no, our people don't do... We don't come here. I'm actually exiled from my people.
Oh, so
For
you're...
being creepy and hiding in walls?
Pretty much.
That seems to me
I
then
made
that
friends.
you perhaps...
I make
perhaps
friends.
abdicated your... Mo, dear. Mo, dear. It seems to me that if you've been exiled from your people, that you've perhaps inadvertently abdicated your role as one who has to follow the prescribed...
Oh, you don't understand.
events.
It's not like a religion. It's who we are. It is what our people do. It's like, do you have to breathe?
No.
Oh, I like you. I was talking to the flesh ones.
The what? Excuse me?
The flesh ones.
The flesh ones. That is the most upsetting thing I've ever been called, and I've
That's
been called quite
accurate.
upsetting things before.
I probably have much worse.
No, thank you.
I've been in there a long time. I've forgotten a lot of my manners.
Okay, how long have you been in there?
At least 3 days.
Okay.
Right. So
right.
Yeah, I think... Hey, Mo, okay, you like me, right?
You are some sort of construct, I believe.
I am, I think, yeah. How about you go ahead and tell us what you stopped telling us earlier, and then after you're done,
Which
we'll
time?
forget it. When you said, "Oh, I can't tell you that."
I can't tell you that.
Yeah, but go ahead and then just tell me, and I won't tell anybody.
Construct to construct.
If we ever make it back to Mechanus, I'll tell you there.
Oh, well, let's go there.
That would be exceedingly difficult here. The only portal that I know of is in the Prime Material, back on Vale.
Right.
Well, then why don't we get back to Vale so that we can
Because I can't go back to Vale. That's why I'm here.
Wait, why can't you go back to Vale? I thought you were just ostracized from your people. That doesn't necessarily mean on Mechanus. It doesn't necessarily mean Vale.
No, see, I can't go back to Vale because I can't overlap myself.
Okay, now my head hurts.
Everybody's
Overlap
head
yourself?
hurts.
This really is kind of confusing, and I think we should talk about it later.
Right.
All right.
Is this something that we just need to sleep on?
Probably not.
Okay. So the captain sent us in here to fix Felix. Felix can't be fixed because Felix isn't a machine. Felix is a
You
We can-
person.
I know how to fix Felix. I just need a new... Does anybody know Magic Mouth?
No, not me.
did
I have
last
one.
campaign. That was in character.
So we need to renew the rune, that's all. And then it'll work again. Ta-da! And he like throws his hands out way late.
That was so much work.
Maybe there's someone on the ship who knows the spell.
Yeah,
could
I
be.
don't know.
None of the crew do.
What about the captain? Does he
Nope.
know
Maybe
this? Not his crew.
Maybe we could learn it as we go.
You know, honestly, at this point, Mo, you should probably just meet the captain. She's really nice.
No, that can't
And-
happen.
Why not?
Why not?
I don't know.
Who told you it couldn't happen?
It doesn't feel right.
So,
Because boss lied to the captain and therefore it doesn't feel back. That's not your fault.
Nope.
The captain
There
has a
is
right to
someone
be
we
kept apprised
haven't-
of what happens on their ship.
Okay.
question: Do you know what the? Because there's representative symbols on the walls for these spells. Do you know what the symbol for the Magic Mouth spell looks like?
That one. He points.
So, where do you need a new one inscribed?
Right there.
It's defunct
right.
or no longer active, I would presume.
Does anyone have a writing implement?
I have some chalk.
Perfect.
Come to the rescue.
So Dietrich's gonna take the chalk and like look at the rune and have a better idea and trace the rune onto a piece of origami paper.
Okay.
And then take that over to the spot on the wall where Mo pointed and trace the rune there.
Okay. Give me a forgery check.
A what?
I don't know, what's forgery under?
Sleight of hand?
Deception, I guess.
Sleight of
Sleight
hand, I think.
yeah.
Alright. I'm technically proficient.
I can help. If I can, if you'll let me.
Sure. If you, I imagine that this
I have
isn't
a
the
bit
first
of
time that
experience
Curious
with this.
offered to help with something of this nature.
Mm-hmm. Sure, dear. And,
Alright.
yeah, I'll assist. So.
Cool. So that is your I got a 17 on the die.
So add
then
proficiency. So
so add your proficiency, so that's
Mhm.
3, so that's a total of 23.
Sounds right. So as you finish scribing on the wall, the rune kind of flares up a little bit and then goes back to its normal kind of look. And Mo comes over and he kind of like looks at it. Oh, not bad. And he starts walking
it's-
back into the room.
Do you think
Pleasure
it'll
speaking
hold?
with you.
Oh, it might. Hold on. And he pulls down one of the little horns and it's labeled Mo's or Felix's room. And he starts speaking into it, and you hear in the room, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing.
Perfect.
Oh, perfect, it works.
Great.
It's
How
really
about try-
disorienting hearing him.
Broadcast to the captain. Just to, you don't have to explain that you're here. Just so at least the captain knows that it's working.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Systems are now operational, or something.
Oh
you
no,
know, equally.
it takes care of making me sound normal.
Oh, it translates for you.
And he reaches over and pulls down another one that says "ship wide," and he starts to speak into it. Oh, this is Felix. Everything's great now. And
How are you?
Those nice people fixed me up real good, and I'm not scared at all. And all of that gets broadcast exactly verbatim.
Oh, including the voice?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Oops.
no. Well, we at least for now are still working out the kinks, maybe.
Oh, I think it's perfect. What happened? I can't hear it.
Nothing. It's fine.
It
Oh, good.
was just as you said it would be.
Perfect. Okay. Well, do me a favor. Keep me a secret. Can I have my book back now, please?
Go for it. It was a pleasure making your acquaintance, Mo.
At the I'm not afraid, Piper visibly softens just a little bit.
Lilac hands the book back.
Thank you. You're welcome to come back and read it anytime you want.
I might.
Better library than what was here.
So that just if you ever want to get back in here and you don't need to use a spell or anything, this lock door was made with a very special magical audio lock that a friend of mine made. All you have to do is make a pun with my name and the door will open.
Really?
What if
Oh,
I
yeah.
just wrench
Like-
it open?
Oh, that'd be very difficult and it would hurt you a lot, I think. But
Well, you just have to make sure you have the momentum.
and the door pops open.
So.
Oh, that was a good one. I usually go with my people exiled me because of my motives. Huh? Okay, bye. and he turns and pulls the door closed, the secret door behind him.
Somehow that doesn't make me feel better.
Somehow I
actually
feel
harmless.
way better now.
And that, ladies and
At
gentlemen,
least he's sweet.
that is where we're going to be ending for the night. We already ran a little over. Sorry, guys.
Oh, good. I can smile again.
Yay! Ren, love you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all of the viewers. Thank you, everyone, for coming along on our very first roller coaster, emotional roller coaster, I think. Our Peanut, our little hamster friend.
This is now my emotional support
the
hamster.
support hamster. Perfect. I hope that that this season has started out living up to everyone's expectations. We've all worked very, very hard. Costumes and green screens, and the green screens are the devil. And it has been really hectic. So I just want to thank all of my players' very hard work for getting this season kicked off with such an amazing bang. And thank you everyone who turned up. We had dozens and dozens of people cycling through. We're at 30 people right now, which is amazing. We're going to do a thingy, the raid thingy, but we're going to show that video again as our end credits. So that'll be coming up here in just a second.
Oh, good. I was going to ask if we could listen to that again.
Yeah, go to dieharddice.com, go to worldanvil.com, our sponsors, go to nerdsmith.org to see all the other amazing shows we have on the network. And big thank you to Jam for the art. You can find them Jam Day with 2 Ys on Twitter. And thank you so much to Will Crosswade for doing our intro music and our outro music, composing and writing the lyrics to that.
And thank you to Logan for the beautiful, beautiful intro video and our layout and all that cool stuff.
And
for
we had a lot of people introduced this week. I hope that it kind of flowed okay, and I hope the new people found excitement with one of our throwback characters that we've got coming in.
Still as frickin' charming as ever.
And
We'll be in our Discord for
we will be in our
20 minutes or
Discord.
so.
Yep, for about the next 20 minutes, answering questions, talking, saying hi. So if you want to come over and hang out there, we'll be over there chatting away. I think that's it. Are we good? Thank you, everyone. And we shall see you next week at 7 p.m. PST right here on twitch.tv/wearenerdsmith. Goodbye.
Let's watch that awesome video.
Goodbye.
Sailing the stars in search of a harbor. Won't you join our crew? Lilac steady even when it gets heavy. Amidst the chaos, they'll see you through. Dietrich's disdain hides a gentler refrain to keep our spirits up. And where there's a fight, there's probably Piper. She's tiny, but she's tough. Find what's hidden inside, discover secrets big and small. And there's Flora to smile through the horror and wonder of it all. Dermot the bear looks through his vacant stare, but they will fluff you up.